spider are we talking about here? A big one.
That's your spider?
I'm gonna call you Sting.
The giant spider invasion.
You called about the noises on the walls, right?
No, not me.
You sure about that?
In a small Wisconsin town, something was about to happen that would send shockwaves around the world.
Because it likes to feed on living flesh.
It's all my fault.
They came from another world to destroy the Earth. It was the giant spider invasion.
Could a spider grow twice as big in a couple of hours?
No, that is a physiological impossibility.
Well, call the National Guard back. Tell them we need some heavy equipment, guns, tanks, anything.
Sweet Jesus, what the hell happened to it? Rats.
They're hell-bent on destroying that beast. Get on the emergency unit.
I don't think a rat's gonna do that.
Could anything stop them? Could anything stop?
I told you something landed here last night.
Spiders eat and kill.
Spider bite will paralyze its prey.
They came by the hundreds, by the thousands, killing and crippling, creeping, crawling creatures determined to destroy the Earth.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 264 of the Triple Shots of Moodz and Horror Podcast is coming at you live and direct with my hetero Mexicant, also known as JP. We got Mr. No Fact Check Saucedo, also known as Tyler, in the house. And welcoming back to the show, we have Mr. FreeMason, and I'll be your host, the MOOD to the Z, representing PGBC. Moodz, yeah. What's going on, dudes?
Yo.
What up?
Yeah. Episode 264. Zoology V. Spiders. Another bonus episode for y'all. Just when you thought you could get rid of us, man, we return with 2 shows out of the blue after we said we're on our break. We're just a bunch of fucking liars, man. We're just lying.
Yeah,
nah, man.
True.
We just had some time, so I was like, fuck it, let's get a couple shows done. Why not, right? Why not?
I had to get the Spideys in.
But I mean, I always feel like these type of shows are super selfish of us because like we always like to kill, bird, which again, we're doing it, right? We're killing a bird with 2. I can't fucking talk right now. Oh my god!
Yeah, what's going on?
Focus.
I think I'm having a fucking stroke right now. Jesus. But anyways, so we got some 75 films. We got some prep for 2024 here. This is what we do. So
we kill 3 birds with 1 dink.
That's what we're doing. We're killing 3 birds with 1 stone, which is actually pretty cool. So, but yeah, so like I said, we had some time, so we're like, fuck it, let's do this shit. And it worked out great, man. 2024 in the eyes of some people is like, it's the year of the spider. We're on the zoology kick, man. 75's got some spider films. 2024, why not, right? So it came together as easy as that, and here we are, man. So, but Mason, man, how's it going, brother? What's going on?
It's going great. We got some mad decent spider flicks. This is a great trio of flicks to do all together. I'm stoked on them, even though I do consider myself an arachnophobe, but that was part of my excuse to come on today, just to face my fears and talk about these movies.
You're scared of spikes?
Are
you scared of spikes on a string?
Oh, that'll fuck me up. You catch me tripping, dude.
So as an arachnophobe, do you feel like you enjoy spider movies more because you actually have that phobia? Like, I personally don't have arachnophobia at all. Spiders don't bother me. In fact, the only phobia I have is heights. Like, I'm terrified of heights. It's like snakes and spiders don't bother me. But so like, as someone that's afraid of spiders, like, does that enhance your experience when you watch these movies?
Definitely. I mean, I love to be scared, and it's one of the easiest ways to do it is putting, a spider horror movie, even if it's shitty or like, I don't know, cheesy. It can still freak me out. Like, not anymore because I'm an adult now. But when Eight-Legged Freaks first came out, and I was like 10 or 11 years old, that scared me. Like, it was. But yeah, so definitely enhances my experience.
I do remember watching the actual movie Arachnophobia when it came out, and that shit was like, it was just so crazy good, man. Like, that's like, honestly, probably, if you're talking about like best kind of spider films, like Arachnophobia's got to be up there, right? Like for, just effectiveness with the way they did that. And plus it's got the god John Goodman in it too. So you can never go wrong with Johnny. So, but yeah, so tonight we got, we're going to go all the way back to 1975. We got the giant spider invasion, which is pretty damn cool because like it's a film obviously made in the mid 70s, which is like it's a total, throwback to like the 50s kind of atomic age giant killer insect films and stuff like that. Right. So it's kind of like their take on it, which is pretty cool watching it in like 2024. And it's totally just a callback to the 50s. And then we got Infested, which is a French spider film. That's kind of a confined set in an apartment building, and of course we have one from 2024, which I believe Infested is actually considered to be 2024 wide release, right? Does that count as like okay? Yeah. And then Sting, of course, in 2024, which is kind of the similar premise. It's set in an apartment building also, and kind of the same thing. So, but yeah, spiders, man. I feel like do you guys generally like spider movies?
Yep.
I can't think of a bad one.
It's really crazy because I was kind of, I was doing not like research, but like I've found myself over the years reviewing and watching a lot of spider movies. And I find that I really like spider films, like even a lot of like the like shittier kind of 2000, made for TVs kind of sci-fi ones and stuff they're really like, they're almost so bad they're good. Like Camel Spiders, actually going back to last week, rest in peace to Roger Corman. He produced that film. You guys ever seen Camel Spiders before?
I think I did a long time ago.
Oh man, dude. It is like the CG in that movie is so fucking bad. It's hilarious to watch though. It's just, dude, it's just fucking, it's ridiculous. But yeah, man, I really enjoy, especially like the 50s ones and stuff. There's a lot of really good spider films from that era. And even in the 70s, they made a lot of really good ones like Kingdom of the Spiders and stuff. But they just can't make spider films like they generally did like in the 70s and stuff like that. Like Kingdom of the Spiders is crazy. You guys have all seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With William Shatner?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this crazy scene where there's like millions of fucking tarantulas like out in the streets and stuff, and they're getting like run over by cars and stuff. Like you just couldn't do that anymore. Like it's right. Kind of savage to watch, right? Like they're literally just getting run over and shit. It's crazy. But yeah, that movie's really effective for me. I really enjoy that shit. So, but I mean, oddly enough, so prepping for the show, I was like, you know what? Do Zoology. We usually do like, I'll find like a top 10 list on the internet, read it off and stuff. Oddly enough, I type in top 10 best, spider horror films. There's like no lists.
Really?
People like not like spider films or make lists of, the top or the best or their favorite spider films. It was really strange. It took me a while to like find anything that was even remotely like a list. It's like, and even to make things even funnier, like I found this one site, it's called hellhorror.com, and it says top 21 must-see best spider movies top 21 must-see best spider movies from Spider Movies. What the fuck does that even mean? Anyways, the funny thing about the top 21 is that there's only 13 movies listed. I'm like, what the fuck is this about?
They couldn't think of 21, so they just gave up.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, is there another page here? It says note showing 1 to 13 from page 1 to 1. Okay, that makes literally no fucking sense. I guess with that segue, I'll just get into this, man. I'll just read these things off, and we'll talk about a little bit more about spiders and shit like that. But okay, so I'm gonna go right to the bottom because it's from 1 to 13. So number 13 is from 2013, and it's Spiders 3D. You guys see this one?
I don't think I actually ever did.
I haven't seen this. No. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I watch it. I think I own this one too, actually. I can't remember it though. very well. This is a movie. Number 12 is actually one I've reviewed somewhere on my channel. I don't know if it was on the show. Maybe it was on channel. I don't know. But it's from 2007 and it's called Ice Spiders.
Ice Spiders for sure.
I remember that one.
Yeah. I don't remember. I've reviewed it somewhere, but yeah, it's, it is what it is. From 2000, movie simply called Spiders.
We reviewed that on here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. So, so number 10 is a film that I actually really enjoy. This one from 2001 called Arachnid.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, it actually is pretty decent. It's got some really good confinement type feeling type scenes. It's good. 2003 called Webs. Now this one,
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
I haven't seen that shit.
I have seen this one. I've seen this one around. Apparently, it's a sci-fi essential. I've seen the cover. I don't think I've actually ever seen this one. I've seen this one though, from 2001, Earth vs. the Spider. I think this is a fucking remake.
That's a remake, right?
Yeah, this has got to be a remake because the original one is out in
1958.
Yeah, from the 50s exactly. And this one actually is Dan Aykroyd. I actually do own the original and the remake. I remember thinking this remake was okay. Now, see, this is where I'm completely confused on the list. Okay, from 2014, a movie called Honey Spider. Now, I don't know who the fuck made this list, but Honey Spider does not have spiders in it. This is not a fucking spider movie, man. So how in the fucking hell did this shit get on the list? Yeah, it's got spider in there, but it's not a spider film. I'm positive. From what I can remember, I know I reviewed this on my channel. It was one of the 31 days, whatever. I really enjoyed this film, but it's not a fucking spider movie. So, going back to what Mason said, brought this movie up just a couple minutes ago for 2002, Eight-Legged Freaks. Number 6. Which is such a goofy movie with David Arquette and
it is
Scarlett Johansson as Dougie Doug's in the movie. Dougie Doug. I always want to call Dougie Doug Dougie Fresh every time. I don't know. Okay, so number 5 is Kingdom of the Spiders from 1977 with my homeboy William Shatner. One of my all-time personal favorites.
Yeah, definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I was surprised to see this one so high on the list, but I did watch it when it came out. I just can't really remember if I liked it or not, but it's called Itsy Bitsy. I'm pretty sure Scream Factory put out the Blu-ray of this.
I remember this a couple years ago.
Yeah. Was it good? I can't remember.
I don't think I ever watched it, but I remember.
I remember watching this one, and it was decent, like a 6.5 maybe.
In at number 3. I was a little bit shocked to see this on here from 2024, Sting.
Okay.
So this is made very recently. That's actually what caught my attention on this list. I was like, this had to
I wonder if they saw Sting and they're like, I'm going to make a list.
Maybe. And number 2 is from 2013, and it is Big Ass Spider. This is a fun movie.
Big Ass Spider.
Yeah, from Mike Mendes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun one. And of course, number 1, 1990, Arachnophobia. I mean, in terms of personal taste and, if you want to separate favorites from best, Arachnophobia has got to be a lot of people's probably favorites and considered probably one of the best, right?
As far as spiders, yeah.
Yeah. It has great cast. Julian Sands, rest in peace to Julian Sands. Jeff Daniels. John Goodman, who is one of my all-time personal favorite actors. I love John Goodman. He's just great and everything, man. So that was some killer spider movies.
And one scene that definitely from The Beyond, that scene with the spiders, that's one of the scariest, like, skin crawling spider scenes ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
yeah. Any that you would put on that list that wasn't on that list that you can think of?
I really like Cobweb from last year.
Yeah, like Tarantula probably from like the 50s. I can't. Fuck, man.
I can think of right away.
I'm just trying to think. I know that one wasn't on there. Camel Spiders is just it would make some type of list for me because it's so bad. I love it. It's like amazingly bad. I I don't know. There's a lot of good ones from the 50s, though. I just can't. Just having a hard time placing them.
I think there's one called The Spider from the 50s as well.
Yep.
Spiders 2.
I mean, there's Kiss of the Tarantula from which is 75 also, which is decent. I think most of my favorite ones were kind of like even almost mentioned in there because like, yeah, see this list that has Honey Spider and has it also in here. I swear there's no fucking spiders in that movie.
Tarantula's Deadly Cargo.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Eight-Legged Freaks personally.
Yeah.
That one came out like when I was like 11. It was like the perfect movie to come out at that age.
Yep.
Kingdom of the Spiders is one of my is probably top like 3.
Yeah, it's probably the best.
Yeah, like Arachnophobia, Kingdom of the Spiders, really good stuff. I actually rewatched Eight-Legged Freaks, I think last summer or something like that. It's just like goofy fun, man. It's actually honestly pretty fun.
Even the big spider and fucking Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets freaks my shit out. Damn.
I am not afraid of spiders at all. In fact, I'm the type of person that if I see a spider in the house, I will just let it alone.
Dude.
Yeah. I think this one
It'll
takes the
fuck
cake
up
for
my
like
whole night.
Why, dude? They eat bugs.
Yeah, man, spiders are actually good.
Is, man.
Yeah, but if I see a spider around, I don't kill them either because they're the ones eating all the fucking shit that you don't want around.
This one time, me and my buddy was chopping wood, and he split a log, and there was like this big black spider inside of it. And me being like the asshole that I was, I hurried up and grabbed it and threw it at him.
Oh my god!
He was real afraid of spiders.
Yeah,
that was the scariest thing I'd ever done because he had an axe in his hand, and he was so mad.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the fact that it could be poisonous too, man. A big ass black spider. You never. Well, you said you guys don't have poisonous arachnids around there.
No,
right?
I mean, no, we have venomous.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Spiders. You know, there's
only like one like real prominent one. Like
I don't have any like in my area. Like I have to go a couple hours south, and then we talked about this before. But yeah, we got some around here that are pretty bad. But I think this movie right here from 2016, man, totally steals the cake with the best title. To Lava, To Lantula.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How? I must have heard of this shit before. I don't know. But that's ridiculous. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
because there's Lavalantula. It's a sequel. Oh, my God. It's fucking stupid.
You remember the scene in Jackass Forever where they're like wearing the bubbles and there's like a tube connecting the bubbles. They're wearing the bubble on their head and there's a tarantula in the tube and they have to like blow it away from themselves.
Yeah.
One of the guys pukes.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that'd be me. I'd fucking puke and pass out. I couldn't fucking do it. I'd be terrified.
Arachnophobia is actually, I think, the number one phobia in like that people possess in the world. Right.
The only phobia. Do you guys have any phobias?
Well, like I don't know what the phobia is called. Like I'm afraid of heights. So whatever that phobia is called, but I'm terrified of heights. Like when I get about, more than there's like a break point. It's like 10, 12 feet up. Like I get up just over a story and I'm like, I'm fucked. Yeah. Okay. So I just get fucked. Like it's crazy too. Like I have a hard time watching like establishing shots in movies too. Like the overhead shots, from like with the way, like especially in older films, like, man, I don't like they'll do an over, establishing shot of like a city and stuff. And they're kind of flying through it. I'm like, oh, my stomach goes all fucking turny. And I'm just like, ugh, every time, dude. So if I'm sitting in the theater and the establishing shot is like of an overhead of a city and shit, I'm just like, I'm fucking gagging, dude. It's weird. I can't control it. It's like the weirdest thing, man. I hate heights. The weirdest thing is though, like flying does not bother me. It might be the fact that I worked at an airport for like 10 years and flown like 1,000 times in my life.
I feel like once you're so high, heights aren't really.
It doesn't bother. Like I love, like people hate taking off and landing. Those are my favorite parts of flying. I love taking off and landing. Yeah. Like I love them. But it's weird. Like when I'm up, it doesn't bother me. It's just like, but like if I was to go to a fair or carnival or whatever you want to call it and get on like the Ferris wheel, so slow and high and shit, and it would stop at the top. Fuck that noise. Dude, I'm up there dry heaving, gagging. Like I can't do it, man. Heights it's legit, man. It's legit.
I'm definitely an arachnophobe, but as far as even though spiders aren't technically insects, I'm mostly terrified of centipedes, man.
Oh,
Really?
I'm not a fan of insects, but there's nothing like I'm like just
centipedes are
scared of.
creepy and kind of gross, but it doesn't really like earwigs actually bother me a little bit more because like those things, you see one like, instantly you're like, oh, fuck, that shit going in my ear. And you hear these stories when you're a kid, like earwigs go in your ears and they'll like pluck at your brain and lay eggs and you'll fucking die that way. And you're like, oh my God. Like I remember hearing these stories when I was a kid and I was like, oh my God, no. So it got in my head, like literally, I was like, no. But, you kind of grew out of it. It wasn't really a phobia. It was just like, my God, those things actually go in your ear and then fucking plant eggs in your brain. I'm like, that's crazy shit, dude.
I think that, like, for me, raccoons are probably my one thing that kind of spooks me a little bit.
I'm a little too north for raccoons. I got to go down to Vancouver for them, but raccoons in Vancouver are so fucking brutal, man. They're big and annoying, and they're nasty out down there, man. They're just garbage. They're just garbage animals, man. They constantly just fuck up everything. Always ripping. Like, see where I am. We get the garbage bears. Like the bears come into
where I am.
Yeah, we get the garbage bears. Like the bears come in from the woods. Like last year, it was so dry. I talked about this on the podcast, but it was so dry last year that nothing grew in the bush. So all the bears came out of the woods and came into the city, and we were just living with bears for like 4 months. I'm not joking, dude. I was delivering mail, and I would see a bear at this house, and there would be a bear over here, and it was fucking crazy. Like I'm literally walking through bears.
It's so Canadian.
Damn.
It's so unusual. It's so unusual because, like I said, like they had no food in the forest and stuff like that. So they had to come in and they just started fucking knocking over garbage cans, and it was really bad. Actually, they had to take out a lot of bears because they're becoming a bit of a problem. But it's kind of sad actually. But yeah, man, a lot of fucking bears and garbage all summer. Like you just everywhere you went, you just saw someone's garbage can was knocked over and there was fucking garbage everywhere. It's like, jeez. So we got to the point where everybody had to like zap, scrap, and tie their fucking garbage cans down and shit like that. It's crazy. So
we would have to tie them down because of raccoons around here sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're very similar, right? They're just like garbage animals. They get into everything. They knock over all the garbages. They fucking rip apart everything. It's like the crows around here too. They just feed off garbage. Fuck. They're always like, if your garbage can is open a little bit, those crows will get in there and fucking rip your shit apart. And you got fucking dirty diapers and you got fucking ramen noodles everywhere and fucking, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass in my neighborhood because we will get like anywhere in my city we'll get raccoons.
Yeah.
And my city, like a couple of years ago, they were trying to cut down on trash. They gave everybody everybody trash barrels, and they're so small. Like you just like everyone's gonna fill them up. They're like wicked small. Then you can buy like very like special overflow bags. But like when you do that, you can't like leave those outside like for a couple of days next to your trash because raccoons will come and rip it open.
Yeah, the
like,
way our
guaranteed.
city. Like everybody in our city has the same trash receptacles. Like they're these city.
Yeah, so do we.
Stuff,
but
right?
ours are so small that like if you want to bring up more trash, there's a lot, especially people that have like way bigger households than I do.
We
like,
have different sizes.
Yeah,
we have different sizes. Like if you're like a single person, you can just have a smaller one, but it's like the same design as the other ones. Of course, we have the bigger one because we go through garbage like shit. But
only, like everybody just has like a smaller one. I can't imagine like a family of like 5 or 6 like trying to use that every week.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Fucking spiders, man.
Yeah, dude. Spiders. I like this is like a different show because typically we do like older movies for the zoologies, but we have one older and 2 brand new ones. But kind of interesting that 2 spider movies came out this year
that weren't sci-fi movies.
It's got me reinvigorated in 2024. I watched a good handful of 2024 movies this week.
Yeah, and also there's another one on the way, right? The Arachnophobia remake.
Oh, is that happening? I don't fucking know about that.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like for real. Like I remember hearing rumblings about that. I didn't think it was actually like, wow.
Dude, I want to say that I saw a poster for it in like the theater or something.
Crazy.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's like literally one movie that doesn't need to be remade. Like, I know we always like a lot of times the conversation leads into, I mean, remakes generally sometimes are warranted, you know, like, I mean, if you're remaking a movie that's pretty average or whatever, and you can make a better version of it, I mean, why not kind of thing. But I feel like Arachnophobia.
I like when they remake like random movies that like people don't know about, like remaking Witchboard like this year.
Yeah, that's actually going to be at Fantasia.
Yeah,
I'll definitely.
Or the Mutilator, what they're doing with that is kind of cool. Seems to be.
It's interesting. But like
Well,
Arachnophobia seems to be like, might even be considered to be, like we said, like the best of, you know, the subgenre of like spider movies.
Even that though, like the average person probably doesn't know about this movie, so it's not like they're just like taking like a property, like a popular IP, and just like putting together a movie. Like, I have more faith in remakes like this, where someone probably actually cares and it's a good movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like that's one movie that doesn't need to be remade.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, it'll probably like a remake of it. I would imagine it'll probably be basically like name only.
I'm like never really opposed to like remaking things because it is what it is. I get it, it's a business and stuff, but like you get the odd movie where you're like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah,
like Arachnophobia is like literally a amazing movie. Like it doesn't, and there's and especially like in terms of like there's so many spider movies out there. Like why would you pick that to just like remake when they pump out like 100 fucking spider movies a year? I mean, most of them are sci-fi.
Got a good name.
You know, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, if we start remaking movies based on their awesome names, oh shit. Watch out now. We're gonna start getting some crazy remakes, man. I mean, there's honestly some movies out there I'm surprised that haven't been remade. But then, you know, you get like Arachnophobia. Like I don't understand that. I really don't get that. But
did you happen to watch Godzilla Minus One yet?
Negative.
Really? Damn.
I rewatched it, and if I were to like,
where can I watch it?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, it's not on mine.
Wait, really?
You know what? I'm gonna bring up my app right now. I'm gonna check because if it just got added like in the last couple of days, I haven't been on Netflix in the last couple of days.
I think it just came out Friday.
Like, yeah,
well, then I haven't been on since then. So Godzilla.
Yeah. I rewatched it like a month ago, and if I were
it is on Netflix. Nice.
If I were to make like a top 10, my top 10 now from 2023, Godzilla Minus One probably be my number one.
Well,
no shit.
A lot of people told me if I had to seen Godzilla last year, it would have been in my list because they know me. So
it was like my number 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my number 3. I liked it more like on this watch though.
Yeah, so it's on the Canadian Netflix, so that's good to know. So I'll have to watch that, even though it's not 2024. Fuck.
Yeah, you know, honestly though, bro, like I feel like that was such a theater movie. It kind of sucks to see it on Netflix, but
I mean,
I'm sure it'll still be good.
I do have an 80-inch TV, so it's kind of like watching it in the theater.
It's pretty big.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's I don't know, like I'm pretty optimistic about some of the films coming out. I'm pretty excited for some things. Honestly, even Alien looked pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still did any of you guys see Alien, the Alien re-release in the theater?
No,
but I've seen that before in the theater.
Well, on this particular one, before the movie started, there was like a 10-minute conversation between Fede Alvarez and Ridley Scott, and it kind of pumped me up for like Alien Romulus.
Yeah, you know, because the preview that I saw for it made it look like it looked a lot like the first Alien.
Yeah, Alvarez was talking about like this was like a movie he saw like way too young, and it's just like a movie he's seen like 50 times in his life. It's just like one of like it's like a favorite like childhood movie for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of new films, man, Bloody Disgusting had an article that just came out a couple days ago called 8 new horror movies releasing this week, including In a Violent Nature, which Tyler, you saw In a Violent Nature, right?
He gave it a 5.
So that translates to, I'm probably going to give it a 9 then.
Like
It's like, I'm telling you, this movie is gonna be like very case by case. I'm like curious to see how people like react to this movie.
See, I'm very confused.
Chris Lax actually gave it like a 1.5 out of 5 too.
Yeah, I saw that actually, and I was see,
like it has a lot of stuff in it that you would think like normally I would be a fan of, and like that is like the best part of this movie. It's just like it tries to do he tries to do like multiple things, and I felt like one of the things it tries to do didn't really just like mesh well with like the other thing that was stronger. And it just like it made the movie like uneven to me. And it felt like that stuff like brought it down, where I think they should have just leaned into like more of like what you see in the preview.
Yeah, I feel like I just don't want to know a whole lot about it before I go in. I keep kind of hearing people kind of go.
This is going to be a cool year. I'm really curious to see where a lot of people end up on where the TV glow. I saw the TV glow is, because that movie's going to be really split for people.
I saw the TV glow this morning, man. So
I feel like this is a movie that
I know you liked it too. But I can see people either like adoring that movie or hating that movie.
Is it coming to Shudder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an A24 movie, so I don't know.
Wait,
I know
In a Violent Nature?
In a Violent Nature is Shudder, so it'll probably be there.
So it's going to be coming to okay, so all this way. So just is it set in a time period, or is it modern, or is it set in the 70s? Because like the poster makes
modern.
it look like it's 70s. It makes it look like it's like from the fucking 70s. Okay.
It's modern.
All right. Yeah, so in Violent Nature this week, I mean, I'm super curious on checking it out, man. I heard there's some pretty good kills in it. So, but essentially, that's what I watched.
It's very interesting because, like, on my Letterboxd, it's either a 4 out of 5 or a 2.5 out of 5. Like,
it's probably this year's like decisive movie where it's like you either love it or you hate it, right? There's no middle ground on it, right? I mean, every year we talk about these type of movies. There's always that movie where people are given 2 out of 10s and other ones are like 9 out of 10. It's like.
Yeah,
but those are always my favorite type of movies to check out because you really have to check it out for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, what else is on here? Tarot's on here, which I don't know why. Okay, Pandemonium. What's that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It says Arrow Video Previews. Pandemonium takes a view. Okay, interesting. I don't really know. This one, I saw this title listed somewhere else just earlier this morning, but it's Boy Kills World.
I think that's like an action movie that already came out.
Yeah,
and how did that loan release? Isn't the one with like Bill Skarsgård in it or something?
Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like an action movie, I thought.
Okay, and then Property from 2024. Okay, this is really not that exciting. What You Wish For. What are all these movies, man? This is bloody disgusting.
Well, I do know there's a Twitter account that Bloody Disgusting, one of the guys from Bloody Disgusting runs, that's actually really good for keeping up with new releases. And they pretty much just put anything that's coming out on there.
Okay, yeah. So it's a twisty story of greed, murder, and gourmet food. The psychological thriller What You Wish For, starring Nick Stahl, will be released by Megan in theaters. Okay, so I mean, food and murder, I can fuck with that. I know
next. Well, I'm all caught up with what's in theater now, but like I know next week we're getting later this week, and M. Night Shyamalan Daughters movie.
Right. Did this one get on Netflix too? The Lumberjack the Monster. It's a new Takashi Miike film.
Ooh, that's cool.
It says debuts on Netflix on Friday, June 1st. So it's June 3rd today.
Yeah, I think that is
June
on there.
2nd.
June 2nd? Dude.
Yeah, what's that movie called?
It's called Lumberjack the Monster. And you know what's fucking weird about this? I was just thinking about Takashi Miike the other day, and I was like, man, the guy puts out like 3 movies a year, and I'm like, I haven't heard his name in a while. Go fucking figure.
There's thriller, drama.
I'm just a massive fan of Takashi Miike, so Lumberjack.
I watched that movie Stop Motion.
It is on there
this week. That movie was decent.
It is on fucking Netflix. So that's another 2-hour movie. Holy fuck.
That's such a weird thing to come. Is it says like a Netflix exclusive?
It's on. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay, what's the premise on here? It says Akira Nimama, okay, I'm not going to pronounce that, is a remorseless lawyer who doesn't hesitate to eliminate anyone who stands in his way. Okay, that sounds all good already. One night he is brutally attacked by an unknown assailant wearing a monster mask. Although he miraculously survives the assault, Naomi becomes fixated on finding the attacker and getting revenge. So it's a revenge film. Fuck yeah. Takashi Miike, I'm fucking down.
On Netflix.
I love Takashi Miike films. I mean, he's done some incredible shit, man. So.
Yeah, I actually got my press approval thing for Fantasia again. And there's some interesting looking movies this year, so hopefully a lot of them I'll be able to see. I know some of them are like in person only, but like I think Witchboard the remake is on.
Yeah, I looked over that list briefly. I remember last year there was like they had a bunch of like Yuri Herz's films like randomly.
Yeah, there's some interesting looking stuff on here though, so pretty interested.
Yeah, there's some stuff I remember last year, like looking up on it. That's like stuff I'm looking forward to this year that like I wish I could have seen. I know this like 2-hour movie Exuma was on it last year. I know Talk to Me was on it last year. And this movie Red Rooms I've been waiting for was on it last year too.
Mm-hmm. There's a pretty cool Korean one that looks kind of interesting. That I'm interested in. There's one by Elric Kane from the what was used to be Killer POV and Shockwave's podcast. He did a like killer app movie, like a dating app movie or something.
Oh, interesting.
Called The Dead Thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's some the people who made The Deeper You Dig and Where the Devil Roams, they have a new movie set in the Canada called Hellhole. It looks pretty interesting.
There's so many movies with that fucking title, dude. It's another nightmare Google. It's another Google nightmare when you fucking Hellhole and it comes up with all these fucking movies. Pandemonium's getting like that too. There's got to be like 20 movies in Pandemonium.
Movies on that. I don't listen to that guy, but I know like he's I know he's kind of a polarizing YouTube guy.
Well, he got a big co-sign from who was it, like Sam Raimi or something.
Oh, that's cool. I used to listen to him like probably like a decade ago on that podcast Movie Fights, like a long time ago. I haven't listened to him in a long time, but I guess like a lot of people don't like him because he just never does negative reviews now.
Sorry, it was Mike Flanagan that gave him the co-sign.
Oh, okay.
So what's your guys' thoughts on the whole Flanagan thing with him doing the new
Exorcist? Talked about that last week, right?
Was it on the actually on the show?
About it on the show.
Yeah, because like I had interactions with people too. Like we had comments on the last video. Yeah, it's right, because people commented about the Flanagan thing and stuff like that. And they were saying that like, they weren't convinced that Flanagan was going to save it and shit like that. I'm like, you know what, man? I mean, I get it. I get that thought process because like, I mean, let's face it, that last Exorcist movie was really fucking bad. But I'm like, it is Flanagan. I mean, he's made mostly really good stuff. I think Before I Wake, I think was the only miss for me that he's done. And I think that he has the capabilities of resurrecting and doing his own thing. I mean, look what he did with Ouija, right? Like, I mean, the first movie fucking was donkey dicks. And then he came back and he literally fucking stamped that shit out the park, man. Like it was really, really good. And, I mean, for the most part, I don't think people are expecting that to happen. So why can't we look at it the same way? Right.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a fail of the first film
too. Like the first film was so bad. There's only like so far you can go up. I've never been a fan of David Gordon Green. Like, I've just never been a person that sounds like an appeal. Like that's going to be a selling point as a director to me. Even like it's not like even like not as the biggest Flanagan fan. Like it's like you can't deny he's like consistently for
like a decade. Like, do you not like the movie Hush?
I don't not like it. I just I think it's like a solid movie. You know what I mean? I feel like that about a lot of his movies, but you can't deny he's consistently made like pretty good movies.
Like Absentia was a really good low budget.
Yeah, like that was a really good low budget movie. And like a lot of these movies, I don't think any of these movies are like bad. I think they're all like at least just like decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not like a movie that like, oh, that movie sucks. Like he's got some that are like pretty good, and he's got some. I think he's got a bunch of decent movies. But
the way I look at the Flanagan thing is like, you see shit like Absentia, and then you see like Dr. Death, and you're like, Dr. Sleep. I mean, Dr. Death. Holy fuck! What am I?
I thought he
Puppet Master right now. Jesus,
great, but I thought he did fine with Dr. Sleep with what he had.
Yeah, I mean,
for a movie that scale.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so much potential here with him, Helmet, and like him even saying like, he's gonna do something totally different and shit like that. I mean, it might work. It might not work.
His long form shows, but I hear that's his best work, and it's like, I mean, it can only get look where we're at now with it. Like, it can only go up from here. And if you just said in a vacuum, would you rather watch a movie from David Gordon Green or Mike Flanagan? I'm gonna pick Mike Flanagan.
Dude, that franchise is a freaking mess, dude.
What, The Exorcist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole God, dude. Like, I mean, really, there's honestly only one good Exorcist movie.
I mean, people say Exorcist 3 is really good, but I've never seen it. That's the only one.
It's fine. Like, I think it's like
that's the movie I was.
Jump scares and it's better than the other stuff. I don't think it's like amazing.
I was trying to fuck with you guys. I was going to say Exorcist 3 is the really good one.
It honestly took me a little while, to really like The Exorcist. Like, I honestly think it was really boring.
The Exorcist, I think, is a really good movie. I love The Exorcist 3, man.
Yeah, dude.
But I mean, to be honest, the 5 films in the original franchise, dude, those last 2 that they did, like Dominion and like the prequel or whatever, those
Paul Schrader did
fucking horrible. Yeah. We're talking bad fucking movies, dude. Like, yeah, so there's 6 Exorcist movies right now, and there's really only 2 good ones. Like, it's a really floppy franchise. How bad could Flanagan's movie be? It can't be worse than those shitty ass fucking Dominion and whatever the fuck they are, and
Beginning,
and they can't.
It's
be worse.
Look where we're at. Like, you guys can only go up from here,
right? And that's the way I look at it too, because Flanagan, in my opinion, does really good quality films and stuff, and I think he's really going to think this through, because you can't flop this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm not anticipating this to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the new Exorcist movie to come out. I don't think anyone's doing that right now, because even though it is Flanagan, but I mean, I'm obviously going to watch it when it comes out. So
yeah, I'll see it.
We should actually do that. We should do the Exorcist franchise sometime, because
I think we got to wait till the third of this new series comes out.
Yeah, we'll wait for the whole thing, and then we might have to record that in installments or something, because I don't know, maybe watch it, maybe do a review, because I think watching all these movies at one time might just be overload. On the senses.
Well, the first one is just classic. The second one is so damn boring, and it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been years since I've seen the second one. I think the third one is legit a great movie, though.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I can't believe
it's the only one I haven't seen.
It's crazy, because it's a lot. I mean, there's people out there
they
that
showed it
that's
on
their
Last
favorite Exorcist
movie a few years ago too, and I didn't catch that episode.
Yeah, it's definitely worth your time, man. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what else? What else is going on? Did I tell you guys that I went and seen Crackoon?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was also on last week. So both of us are dumb as shit.
About that for a little bit.
Yeah, what we're talking about. Anybody watch any 75 films?
No, honestly, dude, I have not been watching shit except for stuff for the show. But I'm gonna, since we're actually going on break now, I'm gonna.
I watched some 2024s though. It's got me in the spirit. So I watched these. I went and saw In a Violent Nature, and I saw The Strangers in the theater. Mm-hmm. I watched the movie Stop Motion. That movie was pretty cool. That movie was decent.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought I watched one more too, and I guess just these two. But yeah, I'm definitely optimistic about 2024. Like with what's coming out, there's a bunch of stuff that like there's more movies I'm like excited about now than I have been like in a while. Like from modern year.
Yeah, me too. Actually, like I'm actually really looking forward to the Alien movie as well as Beetlejuice and Maxine. Obviously, there's definitely some movies that are coming out that I'm actually looking.
I'm really excited for Long Legs. I got high hopes for that movie.
Yeah, that one too.
And that movie, I saw a preview in the theater for that movie Cuckoo, and I thought that movie looked really good.
Yeah, that trailer is dope for sure. Saw that today.
Yeah, that looks decent, man.
I'm actually.
I was trying to ignore it, and it caught my attention. Like it just like caught my.
I just can't stop thinking about Maxine. Like it's like it was my number one anticipated film from last year, that kind of thing, and like I can't fucking wait.
I'm actually a little optimistically looking forward to The Strangers Chapter 2 this year.
I actually am too, because like I'm so glad that I did my research when I went in to watch that, knowing that it was basically a remake, and then he filmed a whole trilogy in like 52 days, but like we're gonna get a totally different. Like Chapter 2 is gonna be basically revenge, isn't it? It's just gonna be revenge. So I'm thinking, like
it's gonna be like Halloween 2.
I think it's gonna be totally different. Like I'm actually kind of curious to see what's going to happen with this shit.
Just keep continuing, like more just people.
Well, I mean, the way the shit ends, dude. Like, I mean, it's clearly like there's going to be an agenda, right? I would assume. I don't know, but I hope it goes that way because I like those type of films.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna go for like a Halloween 2 vibe and set it in the hospital.
I never actually thought of that. That's a good point.
Because it's like later that night,
and there'll be nobody in the hospital at all.
Yeah. And I mean, the hospital already looked dark as hell in that scene. So
it always makes me laugh.
I'm feeling full blown Halloween 2 vibes.
Halloween 2.
There's never not anyone in the hospital. Come on,
big city hospital. No one's in the fucking hospital. I'm like, bullshit.
Dude, funny. Halloween 2's hospital is so damn dark.
It's so bizarre too, man. There's like no one around. How is that possible, man? Hospitals are always busy as shit.
Yeah. Hospitals are creepy, though. I like hospital setting.
Yeah. And there actually isn't, like, it doesn't seem like it gets utilized as much as it probably should. But
no.
It's weird. Yeah. I mean, I
can't think of a ton of just hospital horror movies.
I mean, there is. I mean, there's a lot of slasher films.
Hospital Massacre.
Hospital Massacre.
Yeah, I can think of like Hospital Massacre, like Visiting Hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's those
The Void, but just like
Hellraiser 2.
Hellraiser 2. The Void. That's actually one that I think of more modern. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking more movies like The Void, where it's just like all just set in the hospital.
Yeah, I love The Void, man. I know a lot of people are indifferent on it, but I
also
love The Void.
I mean, if you want to count Session 9. Kind of.
Session, yeah.
Hospital.
Why not?
Or House on
the movie's filmed like 30 minutes from where I live, maybe a little bit further.
Yeah, I didn't really get down with a lot of films this week, man. I was fucking busy, just so busy this week, man. Like I was always getting to sit down and relax like late at night. So essentially what I did this week was just watch fucking, I don't know why this always happens to me in the summertime, but like it's probably because I don't really have that much time, but I end up watching like a lot of like TV series, like retro shit. Like I pretty much watched all the season 3 of Tales from the Crypt this week. Going back and watching those episodes. I watched.
Damn it, dude! We're supposed to do those.
I'll watch them again.
I watched a bunch of movies this week. But
totally fine. I mean,
a lot of it was other stuff.
We should fucking record those episodes this summer.
Gotta get back on the Rue Morgue episode.
I have the whole Tales from the Crypt series on DVD. Like I have that set. So
we do need to get back on that Rue Morgue shit. You're right.
Yeah, dude.
I know. And actually, the next review is supposed to be
Manson Family.
The Manson Family, which is
I watched that like a year ago or so.
It's so crazy. Yeah. So I watched like pretty much all season 3 of Tales from the Crypt, and I must have watched like 10 or 15 episodes of Tales from the Dark Side. So I was watching that. I was watching some Kolchak. Yeah, man, just like TV shit, dude. Like shit that I generally don't watch when we're doing all these shows and stuff. But I just didn't have the time. Like it was late at night. I'm like, oh, I can watch a half an hour episode here and there. And all of a sudden I watch like 3 and I'm like, well, I could just watch a movie.
Yeah, I mean, like Tales from the Crypt to me is like the GOAT of horror TV. If you're not counting Twilight Zone as full horror, which it's not, but it's.
I think I'd still take Tales from the Crypt just being a '90s kid.
Dude, Tales from the Crypt is my shit, dude.
I love
it. Was just it was so iconic in the '90s that
oh, dude.
There's a kids series of it.
It's actually some of the first horror I ever watched. I remember in literally 1993, at my uncle's house, watching it with him, scared as shit.
I remember watching Tales from the Crypt when it was airing on HBO. It's crazy.
Yeah, this was then as well.
I was even 90, 91, 92. I was 11, 12, 13. Yeah.
I watched the X-Files a lot as a kid too, which was more horror-esque in the 90s. Really scary.
I would watch an episode here and there of the X-Files. I never really got into it though. But
I watched the X-Files, but it was more a sporadic episode here and there.
That was
thing.
Me too. Yeah.
My dad really liked it, and he let me stay up late and watch it when I was 8 years old or even younger. So I get to stay up till 9 o'clock tonight and watch the X-Files.
I mean, I love the theme and the I want to believe and shit. It was really cool. This cool.
There's some legitimate horror episodes. There's this one I'll never forget about this shapeshifter dude that comes out to feed every 30 years, and it's investigating these bodies being ripped apart.
Yeah, kind of. Creepers, basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's a cop. There's a cop that was this was him 30 years ago. This is him now. He's out to feed again.
Yeah, I had such a fucking. I don't know what it was about this week, but I was man, I really feel like watching Friday the 13th, the TV series, and I'm man, for some odd reason, I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I only ever own I have season 2 on DVD. I never had season 1 or season 3. It's the weirdest fucking thing. So I went on Amazon. I was well, I wonder if I can find these for a decent price. Found them both for really good prices, so I picked them up. So
yeah, I have the box set that they put out not too long ago that had all 3 seasons and the sort of the TMNT box set.
Yeah. Was it the black and white cover? They had a
yeah, but I think that's a slip thing that goes over it.
Right. Yeah. For some reason they weren't available here. It was an American thing. I don't know. It was weird. It was importing was crazy prices, but yeah. Anyways, I found season 1 and season 3 for really good prices. So I'm gonna go back and revisit those. I remember watching those even when they were on TV and shit. So, but I always the premise of that show was really cool, man. It's this antique store, and there was certain items, and there was whole episodes out of it. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it was one of the rare anthology shows that was 45-minute episodes instead of 20. Which is
Tales from the Crypt was about 30 minutes episode, right? They were 27, 29 minutes.
And they didn't do
they're 26 minutes
commercials, so it was it was the full thing, But
I know some of the ones I was just watching were 29 minutes because I watched 3 episodes. I'm fuck, I could have just watched a movie. Fucking that was 90 minutes, man. It's crazy.
I think there's 1 hour-long episode too.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that they never made more Tales from the Crypt movies. They did the 3rd one, Ritual, which it's fine for what it is. It's not great or nothing, but I'm really surprised that they never branched out and made more Tales from the Crypt movies.
Well, the funny thing about that is there's a few movies that came out that were originally started as a Tales from the Crypt movie, like The Frighteners and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, and they were this movie's too good. We're gonna do something else with it.
But even branding it with the Tales from the Crypt brand, there's nothing wrong with that though, man. It for me, that's a selling point.
I think Bordello Blood kind of ruined it because it kind of bombed.
I was actually gonna say I've watched all the special features on that Spring Factory.
I like Bordello Blood, man. I liked it even when it came out too.
But I guess there was a lot of production problems with Dennis Miller.
Oh, well, we talked about this on the show before. I think Dennis Miller was a total asshole on that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a total asshole. There's an interview on that from Screen Factory of Corey Feldman, and he's I called Dennis up. I was hey, man, I'd love to get together and work on our stuff. And he was and the Dennis is just yeah, I don't know. He bought, I'll see you on set. Okay, big guy. It's something like that. He's that was it. And I've never had
So Dennis Miller got all popular.
I've never had another actor just blow me off like that.
Like Dennis Miller got all popular doing Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live and got a big fucking head.
They took more money away. Like Dennis Miller got paid like $1 million or something to be on Bordello of Blood. I don't remember the exact figures, but there's a whole interview about this, like on the Scream Factory Blu-ray. And they took more money away, like from the movie, to give to Dennis Miller. And then, like when they were casting like the vampire, they were just like, "We'll just use the director's model wife or the director's model girlfriend." So, like,
Angie Everhart or whatever.
Into it. Yeah. So she got into it because of that, and they like didn't want her. She just like
I just watched a movie with her in it recently, and then she showed her titties in it too. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Fuck, I was watching, but yeah, it was weird. Yeah, she's fucking. She used to be I think she was a Victoria's Secret model in those days.
Yeah, I remember her in like the 90s and 2000s, but I don't know what the hell she did.
See, I don't understand the whole Dennis Miller thing anyways. Like, why was he able to negotiate or even demand more money? He was Dennis fucking Miller. Like,
that's why, like, somebody
was he
said,
bigger
like,
than I thought he was back in the 90s? Like, was he more famous?
Must have been, but like the guy said in the interview, I forgot who said it, like, but we gave Dennis Miller like $1 million, and no one's ever given Dennis Miller $1 million for anything.
Well, what has Dennis Miller done since?
Nothing. I don't even know, like, if he, like, I don't know if he had, like, a better career in the 90s and I was too young to remember, but I don't know anything. I don't know shit about Dennis Miller. I do like him in that movie. I'm not gonna, like, even if he was a dick, I do like him in that movie. But
I just know Dennis Miller from SNL when he did the Weekend Update there for a while. I think before Norm Macdonald took it over or whatever, but he did that. Like, I knew him from SNL. So... But I'm like, what kind of bargaining power did he like? I don't get it. It's fucking Dennis Miller, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they seem taken back by it, and like in the interviews, it's a pretty good watch.
Yeah, it's
back when I
interesting.
would like always watch like all my when Scream Factory was really like cooking, and they had like good special features and everything.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Did you guys get anything from the Vinegar Syndrome sale?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got some back stuff that like I hadn't had, but one thing I like based on like the reviews of it, like I already knew I wanted like what was it, Redneck Zombies. I was just waiting for the sale, so I grabbed that. But that movie Tony did in that first episode of The Black Room sounded really cool, so I picked that up.
Yeah, that movie is cool.
I was talking about the partner label sale.
Oh, partner sale? No, all I got was a Sadness.
I grabbed, I upgraded my Blu-ray to the 4K because I didn't realize it was going to be a 4K release. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, for fuck. But I love the Sadness. It was like my favorite.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. That's one of my bigger blind spots. So I was happy to pick that up in 4K.
I picked up the David Rock Nelson Collection, Volume 1. I picked up Kamikaze 89, Roadkill, which is a Canadian film, which I was super stoked to fucking see that getting released. 89. I was like, nice. The Sadness, I might just 4K. Collect
like Film Movement, but there's already like a couple titles that like I know that are already gone from print that I can't get.
Yeah, I surprisingly don't collect the CIP titles, but I mean, there's a few in there that I picked up over last few years. And stuff
and there's some stuff that came out that looks good. It just wasn't stuff like I needed to buy right away.
I grabbed Supermarket from Subculture because it's another German film, but I like the previous couple releases that they did, so I was like, "Fuck it, why not? I'll do it."
I was happy to like have a light month. Like if the Harmony Korine movie was Gummo or Julian Donkey Boy, I probably would have bought it. If the Yang Jimu title was like To Live or Raise the Red Alarm, I would have bought it, and that was pretty much it. Unless there's just some random movie that was like going to come out that like I had to have.
I grabbed Mr. Lonely with the quickness, that's for sure.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, I don't need it right now. Like, I could, like, I'm happy just like waiting a while and getting the standard version. Like, I don't need, like, I'm not gonna be like a slipcover simp.
I feel you.
I just grabbed the Sadness.
Yeah, that's all I got. That sold out quick.
Oh, everything, dude! It's like people are complaining so hardcore about like the limited slipcover editions. Like they literally all like pretty much most of the partner labels that are like a known movie sell out within like a couple hours.
Just make it limited one. Like, limited to one person, or limited to one copy. That was something I saw people bitching about, that people are buying two and then like selling the second one.
Yeah. I mean, I like I just hate how like slipcovers has become like such a big part of collecting. Like it just annoys me because it's like a piece of cardboard.
Vinegar Syndrome having the option to do the standards is always a good option.
I think that's a really cool thing that they do.
Yeah, I've gotten more like off of like the FOMO of Vinegar Syndrome. And like I do get lucky where like a lot of the movies I'm like really interested in for the most part. There's only two or three movies over the last like year I've missed out on the slip that I wish I didn't. But like a lot of the movies like that I'm really interested in are partner labels that don't seem to go like really fast.
Yeah.
Like the Def Croc ones always fast because
it just
like they got discounted so much, but
is it just me or the partner label releases like selling faster than they used to? Because
they definitely do.
Like I think a lot of the partners have stepped up their game though. Like I know, like that Willie Choo movie I did, like that has a pretty big fan base, and that slipcover's already gone. Yeah, so it's just like it seems like you're just getting like we're getting like it's just across the board. Like some of the partner labels have really stepped up their game.
But the Sadness 4K sold out in what, a couple hours?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Fucking crazy! Like when I jumped on there was 400 copies left, and then you said that it was sold out, and this was like an hour later. I'm like, they sold like 400 something copies like in an hour.
Yeah, because like 25 minutes before he got it, I was like, all right, well, maybe I should get to this. And I saw I had like 160 copies. I was like, oh shit, I better really get some.
I think I might have got the last one.
JP, you said there was two left.
One. It said one.
That's crazy, dude. Like,
yeah, there was like 162 left when I got it, and it was like 25 minutes before you bought it.
But I don't know how it works because I had one in my cart from when it first. Like, I don't know if they saved that in your cart for a while or what.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually, I'll just like monitor the ones that like.
That was a standard sold out too.
I want the slip for. What's that?
The standard sold out too. That was that just a slip?
No,
the standard's like not like essentially unlimited. I think.
See,
I don't think they actually put a limit on the standards.
Yeah.
See, personally, I wouldn't even have been mad if I had to settle for because like, I mean, I'm not like slipcover fucking insane like most people are, but like. I just if the option's there to get the slip, I might as well just grab it, right? That's just
the thing with like the complainers though. Like, okay, like it's coming out at this time every day. It's 2,000 covers. It's 2,000 copies. If you really wanted it, you want 4 hours to buy a slip cover, and then if not, it's not like you're like not getting the movie now.
Right. That would be different.
Well, essentially, what buying media is, it should be about the movie. But I think more people have glamorized and popularized fucking slipcovers to the point where it's not even about the actual film anymore. It's about that piece of cardboard.
I'm glad
it's actually crazy.
Like, I knew it was going to sell out fast, so like I did it, but it's like that's the premium you're paying for like getting the special edition of like a popular movie. Like I don't think it's it's that big of a deal. It's not like it's just like restricting it for everyone.
I mean to kind of self-promote the SYN Bin show, but like I'm pretty excited for like the next show. Like, are we gonna do a whole partner label thing? Like, just keep it strictly partner label?
So what I suggested is the Sadness is the featured, and then we use that month to just pick something from the catalog of any release and do that.
See, my idea was like more like a partner label recommendation type thing, like have the Sadness as the main review, but then maybe pick like 3 titles and not do like, extensive reviews of all 3, but like 3 partner label titles that you recommend to people, current label titles.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
So the only problem with that for me is I don't really buy the partner label stuff. So I only have like a couple.
Dude, I have
like 12 unwatched ones, and there's 2 like I really want to highlight.
I have so many, like I buy so much partner, but I have a lot of stuff that I can't recommend because like I have, the whole Fun City editions and they're not there anymore. Like even Culture Shock's not even on the site, like Terror Vision. There's so many, but like there is a lot of current stuff that I would like to, there's definitely 2 titles. I mean, maybe we just do what we want to do. Like if you have one that you want to recommend, just do one. Me and Tyler might have 2 or 3.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm not going to do full reviews.
Way more than
I'm not going to take 90 minutes to review.
I might even have way more than that, but like I like, even if let's just theoretically say I have like 8 movies, like I'll just spotlight like 8 movies in like a half hour or 25 minutes or something.
I mean, there's definitely one title that I discovered through Umbrella this year that's one of my favorite watches of the year, and it actually happens to be a fucking musical. I absolutely fell in love with this movie. It's so damn good. And well, you know, I'll bring it up on the my favorite
last year, my 2 favorite first time non-24, like my favorite first time watches of non-2024 movies are 2 movies that you can get on a partner label now.
Yeah. Actually, I watched 2 this year from partner labels that I absolutely fell in love with, man. And I'm like, I've got to talk about these on the show if we're going to do a partner label thing, because, you know, there's just, and I have a bunch of shit that I haven't watched yet. Who knows?
Yeah, I have like a
Jim sitting in there too, man. Watch. Yeah. I mean, I do buy a lot of partner label. I find it very intriguing. I don't buy a lot of the modern stuff though. And I find that a lot of the new labels are a lot of like modern stuff. So I'm like, So I find myself not buying as much. So
there's a modern partner label I bought real cheap last year during that like spring cleaning sale that you have rated like really high. Well, I bought it for like $10. So I'm like pretty excited to check that out.
Which one?
The Long Walk. It's like a Laos film.
Yeah.
I picked that up like last year for like $10. So I'm definitely gonna watch that. I saw you had that rated like really high.
Yeah.
I literally probably have about like 6 partner label titles. I would say maybe
I have
10.
like 12, but most of them are honestly just like backlogs from this year.
Yeah, most of mine are from this year. Like I have like maybe like 2 or 3 Saturn's Core from previous years.
I mean, I have like 2 more. I have like 2 I already watched, and I have 2 more like Def Rock titles I picked up this year too that I'm just not going to talk about.
I mean, I have like the first. I have like the first like 60 Agfa releases or something. Like 60 is fucking stupid. I was so pissed off about that though, like because the new Agfa title was released on the porn site, and I was like, well, because I had done I bought the package for the halfway to Black Friday thing, so these titles were just added to that, so I wasn't paying shipping. So to get the new Agfa title, I would have had to go to the other site and fucking pay shit. I was like, fuck, I'm not going there for one title, because what am I going to do? Lump it in with a bunch of porn that I'm never going to watch? Like, no. So I didn't fucking buy it. And I'm like super pissed off that one title is like not on the Winter Syndrome site. I'm like, you got to be shitting me, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's so random. Tony was talking about like there's 2 1975 movies in the new like AGFA title.
Yeah,
like looking for. I'm like, am I stupid? I just can't find it.
Yeah, no, that really annoyed me, dude, because I really like that label, and I was like, why? Just because, and even Dan said that they're not even like full blown like porns. They're kind of like nudie films. Like, I mean, they kind of, I guess they kind of lean towards that way a little bit, but really enough to be on the actual porn site? No.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. Put it on the VS site with the other 99% of them.
Maybe it's like the title, because like that's like I imagine that like they don't want like people don't want to advert, like people are having like hangups of them selling porn for advertising, so that's why they separated it.
Yeah,
the title's called like Sex Demon, right, or something.
Yeah, but I mean, there's quite a few movies out there that like have titles like that.
Yeah, that's true. Because there was also like, wasn't there like like movie like The Infernal Rapist like on the
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever, but I'm actually really excited to do that next show, though. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm like excited that it gives me a chance to like just like watch all these movies. There's some big ones I picked up I haven't watched too, like Blonde Death. I remember that was getting a lot of attention early in the year. I picked that up, but I haven't watched it. There's a movie, The Strangler, that I haven't watched. It's supposed to be like kind of like the earliest like with that like maniac POV killer type thing.
Right. Yep. But yeah, that was some shameless plug-in for the SYN Bin show. Check that out. I never do put the links down, but maybe I will for this one since we talked about the SYN Bin. But yeah, check out that podcast if you've never actually checked it out. It is a video podcast. that'll be posted on here and everywhere else. You can listen to this one too. You can listen to the audio, or you can watch our beautiful faces. So, all right. But you guys got anything else?
Nope.
Nah.
Nada. Yeah, I got nothing here. Bloody Disgusting is pretty fucking just nothing. Just boring on there. So nothing to report on there. So, I mean, with that said, I mean, we might as well move this along, get into the featured reviews, some killer spider films, Zoology number 5. All right, guys, we'll be back here in a second with some main reviews.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so getting into the featured reviews here on episode 264, Zoology Volume 5, Spiders. So we're going to take it back to the glorious year of 1975 with a film beautifully titled The Giant Spider Invasion. Like, that is, I mean, right there, you know it's a throwback to like the 50s, right? Just with a title like that. I mean, come on. Quick little synopsis, and I literally almost spit out my beer. Because it just, I just looked at it, made me laugh. This is it. Giant spiders from another dimension invade Wisconsin.
Where I am.
That's it. That's fucking it.
Isn't that where you are right now, Tyler?
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
You better watch out for them giant
Well, it's a good thing you're not the arachnophobe, man. If Mason was there, he'd be going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Lose his mind. Wow, that is the funniest synopsis I've read in a while. Like, that's ridiculous. Giant spiders from another dimension invade Wisconsin. Awesome. I mean,
it's a simple place out here.
I mean, essentially, it's what it is. That's essentially what it is. I mean, it actually has a very similar narrative to Sting, and a film we're going to review tonight too.
Yeah,
it's essentially just like these rocks that kind of come through the atmosphere from outer space, and they crash land in this farm, and we got some giant fucking spiders next. That's really what it is. So, have you guys ever seen this movie before?
No,
I thought I had, but I did not.
Really? So
like, there's a lot of stuff wrong with this movie, but I had a lot of fun with this movie.
See, this movie's fun to me because if you know going into it that you're just getting like a throwback, like 50s style giant.
It's just like it was like fun. I liked what they were like. Like I could tell like they had like a low budget thing going on, but they were really trying to make it work. You kind of had those like cool like science sound effects at the beginning, and they had like these like close up shots of like these real spiders. And I felt like they were doing a pretty good job of like what they had, and like trying to make like a tangible movie out of this. And like the giant like fake spiders come along, and it's just like so over the top.
You know what? The one thing I always take away when I watch this movie, I've actually watched this movie twice in like the last 3 weeks because I'd watched it for 75, and then we're like, oh well, we're gonna do giant spider invasion, so I'm gonna watch it again. Okay. But I mean, I've owned the DVD for years and years and years, and I've watched it a couple of times. But the one thing I always take away from this film is the fact that, like, if you watch a lot of, especially from the 50s, they would manipulate their effects by building things smaller, right? They would use miniatures and stuff like that. Well, in this case, they did the polar opposite. They actually built a giant motherfucking spider. Like, the fucking thing is huge.
And I actually think that is what's most charming about this movie. I would say like that they look pretty damn good a lot of times. For me, the biggest like goofy choice is the eyes. The eyes make them look so goofy.
Like for the most part, I think they look pretty ridiculous. But like at the same time, the gore was like not bad. So it was like kind of a funny contrast.
Yeah, like the gore was like way more serious than like the goofy looking spiders.
Yeah, like looks goofy. It's like you kind of got tricked. It's like this looks good. Like it's like you have this goofy like giant like almost like a guy in a costume spider, but then blood just like splattering everywhere.
I actually don't think the effects are that bad in this film at all. I mean,
the effects aren't bad. It's just like the built spiders with like a nice like this transfer watch is really good, honestly.
You can just tell. You can just tell that, like, the budget was definitely a constraint for a body count.
Yeah,
though.
like,
I mean, there's a little bit of carnage towards the end of the film, but like
ridiculous. But like, it's so funny, like how like the gore doesn't look ridiculous. The gore looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this movie potentially has
like some of the long shots where they're really far away, and you see like the spider over like the hill and shit.
Dude, that's my
looks
favorite
really good until you see the eyes, bro. The eyes.
That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. Is that shot?
Like a spider like jumps out at someone like from like a like under something. It looks so bad.
It's honestly very impressive because I can't think of another movie that has a giant creature where they build a giant creature.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
It's like
crazy.
Miniatures or some guy in a suit.
Yeah.
There's there's a ton of movies that I've seen that are like just like magnitudes worse than this, but this seems like honestly the perfect movie to like get like a mystery science theater track. Like it just like it has like just like
it does have mystery.
Yeah,
science.
like I saw that.
This movie
has watched that version, so it was way longer. But
this movie has so much charm though, like because they legitimately tried to make a really good movie, and in my opinion, it's not a great movie, but it's completely fun and it's executed to the abilities of the budget. But like I said, what I take away is like the effects, like building that huge ass spider. Which, going back to that scene you were talking about, JP, in the field, that's my favorite scene in the whole film because it's such a cool scene. It's like this faraway shot of the spider walking in the distance, but it's this massive fucking structure that they built and it's moving. It's like totally cool. I love that fucking scene. It's so great. I literally have it written in my notes. I'm like, this is my favorite scene in the movie. And it's so like, it's kind of like, I mean, you could probably miss it if you blink kind of thing, right? But I think it's fantastic. But this movie has some really... It just has some really strange moments. Like it has this whole underlying commentary about sin and stuff, but everyone is just a piece of shit. They're all cheating on each other and they don't give a fuck. Like they're just out there. It's got this preacher thing going on and stuff. It's so ridiculous. And then the stepfather is like a total creep. Like there's this great line in the film where he's like, oh, maybe I should have married you. And the daughter's like, I was 11. She's like, and he's like, well, you're not 11 now. It's just creepy fucking shit, man. But like, oh yeah, speaking on the daughter, dude, she looks like Mia Goth. Or Mia Goth looks like her. When you first look at this girl in this film, Mia Goth looks like her. It's unbelievable. They have the same facial features, man. It's crazy. So it's something I had to bring up, but even the mom is really hot in this film. I think she's hot. She's like a total fucking drunk. Like the characters in this movie are so wonky, but the thing I like about this film is that like you have this alcoholic mom, creepy fucking stepfather, the waitress, like the foreign waitress, who's like a total whore. That's good shit. You have a sheriff in this film who's like the comedic relief because he literally laughs at every fucking thing he says in the film. You guys notice that? Like every time he talks, he just laughs at everything he says. It's like it's so goofy. But what I like about this movie though, is that like they were taking it serious without overdoing it. But I think that like the whole scientific angle with the scientists trying to figure out like with the Geigers and all that type of stuff and like what's going on and shit. It's crazy how serious they took that.
Yeah.
But those characters are crazy serious and they get really in depth about all the science of what they're doing and stuff. And you're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like, this is a giant fucking spider film. But yeah, I mean, they tried. They really tried. I commend them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I mean, these type of movies aren't, we're never going to watch a film like this and not have like military stock footage and stuff. There's like a little bit of stock footage in the film, which always makes me laugh. It's like charming to me because you have to fill in those gaps sometimes. Pretty good stuff. But so anyways, Mason, what are your thoughts on the film?
I'm a big fan of Mystery Science Theater, so I've seen this one like, I don't know, at least 5 times just watching those episodes, but it still is a really good film on its own. So watching it for 1975 was the first time I watched it without the Mystery Science Theater riffs. And yeah, like I said, still a good time. I read that they used a Volkswagen Beetle for the giant spider. Did you guys know anything about that?
I never looked into any facts on it. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so I read that. So from a couple different sources, so I think that might be legit, which is interesting.
So what did they use for the legs? Because like that thing's obviously elevated off the ground.
I don't know.
Like it is giant. Like it.
I wish they would have included this in the Bill Redband collection from Arrow.
Right.
They didn't include this, did they?
No, they didn't. No.
Yeah, no rights for that, probably.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Some Mystery Science Theater DVDs, but
yeah, I have like the VCI DVD of this, man, but the transfer is like, it's a typical VCI transfer. It's pretty.
I watched it
blurry.
on, I think, MB, so I think it was an HD transfer.
Yeah.
I watched on MB, and
they put out like
which was really good.
They put out like a 2 or 3 disc Blu-ray version of the fucking movie that I missed out on, which I wish I had got, and that's probably the transfer you guys are watching. So
yeah, it was a really good transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this movie is like it's interesting because last week we did 1959 movies, and this is like a total throwback to that era, but made in the 70s. So it's like it's like an interesting parallel from the 2 points and periods of time that we're actually covering, because 1959 had a lot of the atomic age giant monster movie type things, and this is a total throwback to that. Even like the thing about those type of movies is they actually do like a big like emphasis on the science of it, like the technology, like the science, or like all those movies have so many scenes of like the actual like science of everything. And this movie has that too, whereas like movies that were kind of being made in 75 that were around this era that were about like killer animals or giant animals or whatever, they didn't really focus on the science like they did back in the 50s. But this one does.
Yeah, which just adds to the angle of it's like a total shout out to the 50s. And I mean, yeah,
like it feels like if at the beginning of it feels like the Blob to me, or something like the 50s Blob with like the comet and like, just like the small town, like what's going on type thing, which honestly, I love the Blob, both of them.
What are those rocks called where you can, when you bust them open, they have like all those crystals?
They're like
and stuff?
geodes or something.
Yeah. Because that's what they use for the spiders, because they bust them open and the spider comes out of that. And I mean, there's no real, we don't need an explanation to why the spiders are in those things or why they're coming to Earth or whatever. It doesn't matter. But we get the visuals, and that's all you need. And I like that about it. But I just think it's really funny in this film. Like, it's super goofy. And there's actually one point in this film that's really awkward. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the sheriff is on the phone and he's kind of making fun of the person calling in about their power and blah, 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 whatever. When he hangs up, he turns and he looks and he breaks the fourth wall. He looks right at the camera and he says, "Oh, I wonder why she hung up on me." And it's like the only part in the movie that's like that. And it's like such a tonal switch, like shift at that moment. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, why does that happen anyways? I have no idea.
That's weird, man.
It is a weird point.
Like, I didn't know if it was like intentional or just like a mistake.
No,
Like
I mean, he literally looks right at the camera and says, "Hey, I wonder why." But obviously we know why she hung up, because he was being a dick. He was being funny, but I just think that's really funny that they threw that into the film. But yeah, it's like this whole movie just has a bunch of quirky ass characters. I think the funniest shit though is the cousin that dies when he crashes into the gas station, when he's trying to break his way out of the gas station. I'm like, he has so much time to get out of it.
That was cool. I was like, man, they just blew that up.
Yeah, they totally fucking blew that whole building up for real, man. But like the fact that he couldn't get out of there and he actually died was ridiculous, because he like broke out the window and then he's getting out and explodes. And I'm like, come on, man, you could have made it out of there. Fuck. But it's pretty cool. I like that. That was a good scene. So.
Explosion they did like on the green screen right at the beginning, where when like the stuff first crashed down from Earth, and like they made like the background like all like purple, like it was like something atomic. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of
That
like
caught my attention.
I'm wondering if they did a lot of almost like guerrilla film.
I really like soundstage sets, so I thought that's what we were gonna get, like when we got that scene, like more like soundstage sets.
Yeah. Like the carnival scene, like at the end where the carnage and shit happens. I'm thinking like a lot of that footage, man, was just like shot at a real carnival, right? Because like there's obviously not actors and stuff. They just shot what was going on around there, like that old guy eating his fucking chicken wings.
Based upon like the way like their budget like seemed to be distributed in this movie, they probably didn't have money to like build sets.
Right. But I mean, that was such a common thing back in the day. It was like a Larry Cohen thing, right? Like guerrilla shooting was what you did, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So you get your footage that way and stuff like that. But I mean, I still think like even the end of the film, like the way it ends, like the way they extinguish the spider and shit like that is all it's all done pretty well for like the budgets that they have and stuff. It looks pretty cool. This is a fun movie, man. I don't care. It's like honestly, it's 80 minutes. It doesn't overstay its well. There's no downtime in this movie at all. Like I feel like there's always something happening that's entertaining, at least. You know, you got like I said, you got the weirdness with the stepfather and the daughter, and of course the mother that's always drunk and shit. And then that really gross part where she makes that Bloody Mary, and it's literally a Bloody Mary because she grinds up that fucking spider in the blender.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Oh, it's fucking so gross, dude. I'm like, oh my god. And even the color of the drink was not normal. I was like, oh, gross.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, like I think this movie's really impressive when you know that it was an independent movie. Yeah. It's regional in Wisconsin. I read that it had a $300,000 budget, which to me is like pretty impressive what they've been able to do.
That's a pretty big budget for 75. Like that's a wow.
Really? Yeah, I think that's like not that big.
I mean, 75. If you actually translate that to today's money, that's a lot of fucking money, dude.
It seems big. I don't know.
Granted, you had to buy film.
Oh, I know.
Like now you could just like any Yahoo, like any Billy Bob with a camera can.
I mean, for perspective, Jaws had a $7 million budget.
Yeah. And they spent like $5 million on that fake looking shark.
That's like a major Hollywood production too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's a similar type of movie. So to go to 500,000 or 300,000 is.
Oh yeah. I guess okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
For what they did with the.
Yeah, they definitely like maximized their budget. Like they did what they could with what they had for sure.
So do you guys agree? Like the daughter looks like Mia Goth?
I can't remember.
I can't even picture it right now, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen this movie way too many times, but like, I never thought of it until I was watching it again yesterday morning, and I was like, there was a side shot of her. I was like, holy fuck, that looks like Mia Goth. And then like it just clicked. I was like, holy shit. I guess Mia Goth would look like her because she's way younger, but it's crazy. Totally reminds me of Mia Goth. I mean, yeah, but. We get a little bit of boobies in the film, which is always a plus, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff, though, man. Really fun. Good soundtrack in the film. I mean, this is one of those low budget films that I feel like I would love to see this on a big screen with a bunch of people and shit, because this is that type of movie. It's like a perfect length. It's like 80 minutes. It's fun. Got shit happening.
I would love to see a marathon of like just like movies like this, like on a big screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like just
super. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more like actual like super fun films from 75. Like 75 has such a mixed bag of types of films that are made, but this is like legit like a fun movie to watch. So if you don't want to take your shit overly serious, like the scientists in the film, definitely.
Also, another comparison is the budget for Bug 1975 as well. Was around $3 million.
Oh damn!
Wow.
Yeah, it's always something good to look out for when I watch that.
Well, you watched Bug? No,
I've never seen Bug.
We did it on the show.
Yeah, I wasn't on it yet. I wasn't.
No,
really on
I think Parker was on that show.
Oh,
I think
that was one of the last things I think that like you did before I hopped on.
Well, that was the first zoology show.
It was.
Yeah. Weird. So here's another zoology show with 75 film. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm gonna have to rewatch Bug. But
I love Bug.
Bug is fun. There's
exploding cockroaches, bro. And it has such a I love the vibe of that film, like the desert. It feels like Hills Have Eyes or something.
Right.
That's cool. That's enticing.
Just the like location, not necessarily like the plot.
You know what I
find? Is that Randy Quaid? What?
You know what I find is like the most
not.
scumbag
Okay,
shit. Like, not that the fucking husband is like cheating on his wife in this film with like the foreign waitress and stuff like that in her fucking scummy trailer and shit. It's the fact that there's a scene in the film where right after like those rocks hit
when all the cows are dead.
All the cows are dead and shit like that. The fucking guy says, he's like, the wife says to the husband, she's like, well, this is going to cost us a ton of money. He's like, what do you mean
this is going to ruin us?
This is going to ruin us. And he's like, no, this is going to ruin us. I'm just going to fucking, I'm going to grind up all the meat.
Chop the meat up and sell it
to the cafe. I was like, gross.
She's like, you don't know what attacked them those cows. It could be poisonous or something. He's like, that's for Jeff to worry about or something. It's like, dude, what a scumbag.
And then they pan into the fucking into the dead cow, and there's fucking bugs all over the meat. I was like, oh god. So
dude, but you know what, bro? Like the effects in this movie outside of the spiders are really solid. Like those cows look gross.
Yeah, they look really nasty. But I mean, to be honest, I think the spider looks really good, like you said. I mean, maybe the eyes kind of, does what it is, but
the eyes make it a bit goofy for me. I think that like if you had more realistic looking, because the spiders themselves, I think look pretty good for giant spiders.
Right.
But the eyes make them look a slightly goofy.
Right.
Goofy.
I get that.
It's there's something about it though that's just like fun and it just like works.
It's super charming.
Yeah,
it's also because
it's just this
you
movie,
see the care
like,
and the effort put in, whereas today it would just be CG. You know what I mean?
And like the thing about this movie that like separates it a little from like a lot of movies like this that usually that can go the other way is like this movie never like takes itself seriously. And
I feel like it does though. I feel like the entire movie is serious.
I think it knows it's like I think it kind of knows it's just like where it's kind of goofy, but
it's funny
I think that's a good thing though. I think a lot of movies like maximize what they have by having the self-awareness to be like this is the type of movie we are.
Yeah, this one seems to get away with it because I feel like there's a lot of seriousness to it, but then it's like it's still having a lot of fun too. It's hard to do that. It's hard to accomplish that tone.
Cool thing about it,
it's hard to accomplish that tone.
Like I said, like I think like a lot of like the milk creatures are pretty like it's pretty cheesy, but like because you combine it with these core effects that look like pretty good, like it almost like makes you like take like a step back, and there's just like fusion of like this like ridiculous looking like fake spider and this but like this guy getting like chewed up with like blood shooting everywhere. It just makes like this really interesting like fusion that's like you have to like smile at.
Right. Should we get into some ratings on this one or what?
Yeah.
All right, Mason, what do you give this one?
Giant Spider Invasion. I will do a 7.5 on it. Great movie.
All right, Tyler, what do you give it?
This is pretty fun. It's definitely worth your time. I'll give it a 6.5.
I also give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's fun. I mean, really, like you got a Mia Goth lookalike that's running around in Daisy Dukes and pigtails. Shows her titties once. Fuck. It's good shit, man. JP?
I give it a 7.
Cool. Awesome.
So dumb, rabbit turds from Rice Krispies.
Yeah. Man, he was a dick to his wife, dude. Total fucking dick to his wife. Unreal. So anyways, yeah, that's the Spider Invasion from 1975.
42 shots.
All right, so getting into the second featured review here on episode 264. We're going to take it back to 2023, which I believe this is like a 2024 wide release. of a French film titled Infested, another Google nightmare.
That's the truth, huh?
Oh, man. So many movies named Infested. Come on. All right. Synopsis. Residents of a rundown French apartment building battle against an army of deadly, rapidly producing spiders. It's pretty accurate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, thoughts on Infested? JP.
Solid.
I think it's pretty good. I think the soundtrack's pretty solid as well. It was a little underrated. Not necessarily something I would have thought about. But I think that the only stuff that I didn't really care too much about was just like the whole like relationship between like what's his name, Caleb or something, and like his ex-friend and the sister and stuff like that. I just didn't really care. But I thought the apartment setting, the lighting was good. I like what they did with the set design with like all the cobwebs and stuff like that. I thought it was a pretty well put together spider movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tyler.
I thought it was solid. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of that movie Wreck, which also, you know, like it contained like apartment movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with JP about like a lot of the character relations I didn't really care for, but I did like appreciate this was just kind of like a fast-paced movie that kept going. I kind of felt like the escalation to like how fast like everything happened was a little bit rapid, and I like maybe if there was a way to like slow that down, or it could have had like a better pace. It could have had a better pace to it, because I did feel like this movie got a little repetitive too. But you know, it's pretty fast paced, even if it is like a little bit long, and it's got some intense moments, and like probably some of the familial stuff will work better for some people than it did with me. But you can tell this is like definitely like a contained movie where they're like, we have this much money, we have this location, like what can we do? Which is like this is really cool. This is one of the couple movies I knew about coming into 2024. This got some good reviews like at festivals last year. But yeah, it's probably not a movie I would probably like look as like a top contender for the year, but it's definitely like a solid movie. Like if I said it's like it's better, it's like as good as if not better than most stuff you would have seen in the theater this year.
Okay, Mason.
This one I watched a couple weeks ago. I want to try to watch it again, but too busy for that. But just trying to remember. I really liked this one. I also thought it was really fast paced, and I love the soundtrack. It was banging right from the opening credits, and I was really having fun with it. I liked that there was an MMA fighter in there. That was cool to see that.
That was different, huh?
And like JP said, the set design was really cool. I think that it's one of the first films I saw this year that's definitely a contender for top 10, so I'll definitely watch it again. And also,
I do like that one character's creepy, like fucking tanks and like little like insect and reptile ecosystem he's got in his room. That was cool.
Yeah. And do you guys know about the director of this doing the next Evil Dead flick?
Is he so that's the guy that's doing next Evil Dead flick?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, which was neat because this is an apartment based thing. So maybe I don't know where.
Evil Dead's always kind of been a contained thing, so it's like it's probably just an opportunity to work with like.
Well, we just did the apartment thing in the last Evil Dead, so
that's true.
I'm
just in general, though, it's like there's the apartment. There's been like aside from Army of Darkness, it's always kind of just been like a small location, type of franchise.
But at least like we kind of know that he nails like gore and being fast paced and action packed. So I think that he can handle Evil Dead pretty good. So I'm stoked for that. Yeah. I was reading some Letterboxd reviews, and one of them it said how it feels to chew 5 gum. And remember the old 5 gum commercials?
Yeah.
So yeah, Infested was dope, man. I loved it.
All right, so Infested. First off, I love the setting, man. Everybody knows I love films that are set in apartment buildings. Like this contained type of setting has always been a big fan of mine. Demons 2, all-time favorite. love these type of settings and shit like that. The movie's shot really good. The soundtrack is good. I'm not a big fan of French hip hop. As everybody knows, I'm a huge hip hop fiend. The beat, it was fine, but I if I can't understand what the fuck I'm listening to, I tune.
I just thought it sounded good. I don't know that.
Yeah,
no, it sounded good. It sounded good, but like I'm a big lyric person, so like when you're talking French and like, yeah, I get it, guys. I'm Canadian. I don't know how to fucking speak French. For the last time, I get that question all the time. I don't know one French word. Do I sound like I'm fucking? No, I don't sound like I'm French. But anyways, so that's all good. I mean, the technical specs of this movie are fantastic. It's shot really well. JP mentioned the lighting, which I was going to bring up. I thought it was really well done. There was a lot of really good contained, kind of creepy scenes and stuff like that, like in the, I guess would have been the basement type thing and stuff where they have to make that kind of trip from one side to the other and stuff. That was really cool. So a lot of that, like the technical aspects of the film are really good. I thought the spiders look really good. But you guys mentioned the pacing and stuff. Like, I mean, it takes a long time, even for I think the first kill happens in this movie, like 35-40 minutes into the film. Yeah. But I'm going to say from like, I'm definitely in the minority on this one. I didn't really care for this movie at all.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised too, because I liked all the technical aspects of this film. But honestly, dude, I hated everybody in this movie. I couldn't stand the corniness of First of all, if you're going to write characters like this, you need to develop. So if you're going to throw with the characters, right? So towards the end, you get these reveals as to why our main character, had a falling out with his friend and stuff like that. If you don't develop these characters in the beginning of the film, you can't drop bombshells like this in the latter part of the film and expect it to work, because what we've been seeing throughout the whole film is just a bunch of characters that we don't really care about. Like our main character, he's fine for what he is, but he's still kind of a piece of shit, right? Like he's slanging fucking Nikes and stuff. He's like, I like the
character. I like the written character, but he's kind of annoying.
Yeah, like, I mean, this guy, he's not your ideal person you want to root for him. I mean, he's doing illegal things. Like, he has this really terrible relationship with his sister, and his sister's super fucking obnoxious and annoying, and the relationship's terrible. He has this falling out with his friend, and everyone seems to be like not on the level of likability at all. Like, there's nobody in this film. In fact, when I was watching this film, I couldn't fucking wait for everyone to die. It was like, and it's fucking crazy because like it's a contained film. And what do I always say about contained films? The number one thing that makes a contained film work is character development and really good dialogue. Now, I felt like the dialogue in the film was not good. There was a lot of cornball conversations and things that were happening throughout the film. And I was like, oh my God, I don't give a fucking flying fuck about this shit at all. I just want the spiders to do their thing. And, and it's, for me, it was a big shame because I really enjoyed the visual aspect of this film. Like I said, the setting was great. The soundtrack, the atmosphere was really good. The effect, like everything was really good about this film. But I mean, what ruined it for me in terms of likability for myself was the lack of character development. And I only say this because they try to throw these angles towards, the third act and stuff. I'm fine with not developing characters in films and not even being overly likable at times. I can accept that. But this type of movie, they went for the serious aspect. You're supposed to like these characters, respect all this shit that's going on. It didn't work for me at all. I had a hard time with it, and I was really struggling. I actually laughed out loud at one point when they were having these moments. They were talking about this shit. I'm just like, dude, this is so... I literally wrote down, this is corny as hell. I literally wrote down this is corny as hell.
I think it would have been better if they would have found a way to just straight kind of villainize the characters and just kind of have them be just like morally ambiguous characters and just like cut out 10 minutes of fat of trying to develop you to like these people.
I mean, that whole explanation. They just kind of gave
him a villain curve.
In the third act, we get this reveal of why our main character Caleb and his friend had this big falling out and stuff, and the girl's explaining to him the reason he never kind of ratted on you, he always said that he got this scar on his leg from a bike accident or some shit. I'm like, oh my God, this is so corny. It was so corny. That whole scene was so bad. I'm just like, dude, like if they had to just not put that shit in there, develop these characters properly, and have them half likable, would have been fine.
Well, I think the biggest problem with like why I didn't really care about like the way that the relationships between the characters is because to me it felt like script writing 101 versions of that.
Yeah.
Right. Like just standard as fuck, like as basic as you could get, you know?
But I'm fine with that if you're not trying to take it so super serious. Like you took it to the point you had these reveals in the third act of like why they explain this falling out and stuff. It kind of played out through the whole film, and I'm like, man, like what are we watching, a fucking drama here or a fucking spider invasion film? You know, like it really was taken away from me, and it was really fucking annoying the shit out of me. And like I don't understand why these films open up with these ridiculous scenes in some foreign desert, and all of a sudden there's some like
remind you of Dead Alive?
It's Dead Alive. It's camel spiders too. Camel spiders opens up like with this military shooting scene and like in some foreign desert, and then these spiders come brought back to America through like the dead or the coffins of the dead. I'm like, fuck, it's the same shit over and over again. I'm like, this is just a really glorified fucking $4 Roger Corman sci-fi fucking original film.
Well, speaking of that scene really fucked me up because like I watched this on Shudder and the movie starts and you know, I know it's a French film or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, like you know, obviously it's gonna be subtitled. And so I'm sitting there for fucking 20 minutes trying to figure out why my subtitles aren't working. Well, it's because that opening scene isn't subtitled.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking like something's wrong with my TV or my app or whatever, but it's literally because there is no subtitles in that scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like everybody in this fucking movie. It's like that scene where dude gets all fucked up by the spiders and shit like that, and the fingers get pointed at what's his face, our lead character Caleb. And the guy's like, oh, you know, he sold him drugs and shit like that. I'm like, just all this banter and all this fucking dialogue was just driving me nuts. Like, where are you coming from on this? Like, the guy slangs fucking Nike shoes. And this guy's accusing him of like, you know, selling him drugs and making him overdose and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, the dialogue, this movie was written horribly, in my opinion.
I didn't think it was that bad, dude.
It's pretty fucking bad, dude. Like, it's pretty fucking bad. Like, I
didn't think it was awful, but I felt like this movie was too long. And it was just like
that extra 15 minutes was not needed at all.
Dude,
like, it should have been
way too long. It's way too fucking long. And I understand why people would like this movie. Like, I mean, visually, like I said, there's a lot of things I like about this movie. You know, I mean, it's just the characters and the whole narrative itself is just goofy and stupid to me. Like, oh, I found myself like going, what in the fuck? All I'd heard is good things about this shit. I'm like, did nobody watch or listen to the fucking, and I'm not talking about you specifically, Mace, because I know you really like this movie and shit. So just take my shit with a grain of salt. It is what it is. It's my opinion on the film.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
So don't. I mean, there's people are going to thumbs down this video like crazy because I offended them because I didn't like what they like.
Oh,
fuck off, man! I'm so sick of fucking people getting butthurt.
A lot of people
every time I mention that I hate Halloween 4, people get so up in arms and they're like, "Fuck,
Halloween 4,
you're the worst." I'm like, oh my God,
Halloween 4 of all things. That's the sacred cow.
I swear to God, because I always bring about like Halloween fanboys.
Dude, like I do always hear people say like Halloween fanboys are sensitive.
They are. They're literally the worst horror franchise fans out there. There's nobody worse than Halloween fanboys. Yeah. And I don't even care if I'm offending people because I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. It's 22 shots, man.
Toxic offender on deck.
So, but again, you know, going back to the whole relationship stuff and like in this, I just found a lot of it to be really corny. Unneeded too. Like it really took away from the core aspect of the film, which was these fucking spiders, right? It's a killer spider film, right? I did think the Caleb character was kind of complex in the sense, like, you know, this guy he's like he's kind of like a street kid. Like he's slanging, he's a business guy, but he has this weird obsession with bugs. Like I found that whole aspect a little bit interesting.
Well, I found it to be a little bit of a plot issue for me, because like this kid and his friend were obviously really into you know, animals and insects and whatever.
The iguana bit his leg, man.
But to me, like the way this guy like takes this unknown species of spider and like sort of like doesn't treat it with, you know, unknown qualities, as in like it could be venomous or you know, dangerous. Like, and he doesn't really, for somebody that's supposed to be really into that stuff, you would think that he would be a little more careful with it. So to me, it kind of was a little bit of a plot inconvenience.
Well, you know, going back to the whole spider thing too, I'm like, obviously the spider that he bought must have been pregnant, right? Because it obviously like fucking, you know,
yeah, this seems like some kind of super species spider, bro.
So my thing was,
that's why it was like
where it came from.
I'm not opposed to like when like movies get like completely like outside like the sci-fi realm of believability, but like it just seemed like everything escalated like instantly.
Well,
like
the thing that I actually laughed about, I was like, well, so this spider came from this, it's like an unknown destination, right? Somewhere Mideast, desert, whatever. So did it just like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, did they not have these giant ass spiders over there at the time? Like,
I kind of like,
because it was,
I get the sense that this is supposed to be some kind of like,
it just mutated on its way to America.
Unstudied,
yeah, I kind of like had a feeling it might have like that spider. It was gonna have something to do with that guy's like kind of like indoor like terrarium, whatever he's doing with his insects, but it doesn't really ever like really allude to that. It just seems like he put it in this room and it got out.
See, when you have narratives like, you know, the giant spider invasion where they're coming from space, everything's explained right there. It's just from space. It doesn't.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do in this. It's from a mysterious jungle, right? Like that. Well,
it wasn't. It was from. It was like a desert, but like they should have had those giant ass spiders, because it's not like it mutated when it came over to America. It's like, oh shit, I ate too many In-N-Out burgers. Now I'm gonna just fucking grow and fucking.
Right, but I think the sense that you get based on like the beginning of the movie, like how the people don't seem to be aware of like what it's capable of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's not even a complaint of mine.
It's like a new species or something.
It's not even like a huge complaint of mine. I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, shit, man, this thing was like on Earth. It was like, you know, it was over here, but like there's no big problem with spiders. But all of a sudden, and the crazy thing about these spiders too is like, they not only are just like rapidly fucking grow, like they're just growing like crazy fat, like by the minute.
Yeah.
Like literally by the
you're
minute.
Definitely supposed to get the sense that this isn't a normal, like, you know, shed spider. Like this is some shit that shouldn't be in this area. It's exotic.
It's the least of my complaints with it. It's more, like I said, it's a character, it's a dialogue in this film and stuff like that. I think there's a really, really good movie here. But for me, it didn't hit like I wanted it to, but it is what it is, man. So I was just kind of disappointed, man. Like really, really disappointed with this. So I know Dave Z's listening to this going, we don't need likable characters. You're a fucking idiot.
Did he like this movie?
I don't know, but he always talks about like how you don't have to like characters to like a movie.
No, I thought he was the guy that says you have to like characters.
No,
I'm the guy that says you don't have to like characters.
No, he does too. He doesn't. I don't think he cares about likable characters. Where I do, like I want someone to root for. I'm that person. I'm honestly a sensitive person, bro. Like it
depends on the movie, but I don't think like, and I think these characters like were only. Like, if you just, like, leaned into, like, these guys are kind of villains and unlikable, I think it would have been better, but it's like they wanted you to like them is the difference.
You know what else I really found super annoying about
you're
this
definitely
movie?
Supposed to be sympathetic towards, you know, him losing his mom and his friend and, you know, his situation
But it's totally
like if they were
ruined.
just, like, unlikable, but, like, the film didn't care if you like them or not, then it's
I feel that. Thing. But that whole situation is ruined by the brother and sister's relationship. They're just bickering and they're being annoying with each other and they're just not being cordial. Like they're just being horrible people to each other. And it's so annoying to watch. I'm just like, oh my God, I get it. You guys lost your parents. It sucks. But she doesn't seem to give a fuck. Like she honestly
Yeah,
does
she
not
tells
care.
him to get over it.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't fucking care. And like right there, it's like, well, okay, so fuck her, right? Like, but like one of the other things in the film that really drove me nuts was like in the third act with the police and like they do the stupidest shit, man. Like,
I actually thought the movie like jumped the shark a little bit with that.
Dude, I thought the third act was actually, besides the really corny reveals and stuff like that, like was the cops was the worst shit. I wasn't sure if they were trying to go with like this commentary on, you know, French police being, you know, fucking terrible towards, you know, kind of ghetto areas and stuff like that by what their actions were. They were shooting up this place like they're spiders, for fuck's sakes. Like literally, like it made no fucking sense to me what they were doing. Like you're shooting at and you're shooting in there and you're fucking up things, and I'm like, this doesn't make a lick of sense. Cops would not do this. Like all of a sudden they were just confined in there. They wouldn't let them out, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, do the cops know what's going on in there? Because it was never revealed to us that the cops knew what the situation really was inside, but they're reacting like they did. You know what I mean? And I was like, they're shooting up shit, and they're making all these weird decisions that like would just never happen. I'm like, this is bizarro to me, man. I could not figure this shit out, man. Even like when Caleb's all like at the end, you know, he's all tied up and shit, and he's like, oh, you shot a cop and stuff, and he's like, yeah, you fucking locked us in there to die. Right? Like it was just, my head was spinning, dude. I was like, what is going on here? Oh,
I don't know. I also thought that, but I don't know. I just didn't care that much, I guess.
I just wanted to understand why they were doing what they were doing, because none of those actions even seem they don't seem like normal humans would do that shit.
You know,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
With like stuff like this is a lot of the times with me and like foreign movies is sometimes I'm just like, well, maybe I missed something. Because like half the time when I watch these movies, like I'm reading subtitles, I'm watching the screen. So I'm always like chalking shit up to like, oh, I bet I missed something because I just don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think you missed anything, because this one is pretty easy to follow. But like these cops reacted in such a bizarre way.
Yeah, it almost felt like Wreck, like or something. But like that made sense.
If they had shown us that the cops knew that they needed to quarantine him in there, but there was nothing really given to us in the fact that like, okay, there's a major fucking situation. We don't want these spiders getting outside of here. We need to quarantine these people in here. It was never developed like that. It was all of a sudden like, oh, we locked the fucking doors. Like we didn't know that even as a viewer. And it's like, as for the characters, I get where they're coming from. Like, you guys are fucking pieces of shit, man. Like it was never revealed what was really going on in here, but the whole shooting up the place, explain that shit to me. Like you're gonna what are you guys, fucking top 10 fucking snipers? You're shooting spiders? Like what? Dude. I'm just, oh my god, man. Like come on. I feel like Mason's rating's probably going up, and he's like, I like this movie even more now.
I'm just like, trying to keep guys. Like I know what you're talking about, but I just don't remember.
I'm not here to change anyone's minds. I'm just giving honest opinions. I don't care if you like what I, and vice versa. It doesn't matter to me. I was really frustrated with this because I thought I was going to love this movie. I was like, oh, this is fucking, right from the start. I was like, oh, this is going to be pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
And then they talked, and I was like, no, it's done. There was some dialogue. There was some dialogue in the film, and I was like, fuck this. So
I feel like I could see that the dialogue was cheesy, but since it was in a foreign language, maybe it just didn't bother me as much.
I don't know, because I'm Canadian. I understand French, right? I can understand. I don't even have to read the subtitles. I don't even have to understand. I don't even have to read them. Fuck. No, there's no language barrier. Like, I mean, the dialogue was easy enough to read and follow. Like, there was never a moment in the film where I was like, oh, I missed something. Like, it very seldomly ever happens unless the subtitles are just done improper. You ever watch a subtitle film where they're flashing too fast? And I'm a quick reader, and like sometimes that happens to me. And I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't even catch all that. Like, that's crazy to me. And because like when I watch subtitled movies, I read from the middle both ways. Like I look at the words and I can read the whole thing at one time. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing. I don't read I don't read from left to right, like word by word. Like I can look at the screen and just read the whole thing in like one kind of read.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually learned that when I was in films in one of my film classes. Like my teacher's like, yeah, this is what I do. I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting. So you don't miss anything on screen. So, but anyways, I don't think it was anything to do with language barriers or anything here. I think it was just some cornball reveals. It just, the emotional level, like, I mean, they really tried to get super serious with this, which really actually even made it worse for me, because I'm like, man, if you don't develop the characters, you can't start dropping and keep going back to these type of developments and these reveals and stuff like that. If you don't develop these relationships in the first place, which I mean, I thought the first 35 minutes of the movie was just all complaining anyways. So if I'd have got that too, it probably would have been even lower in the film. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It just it didn't do it for me. But I gotta say, man, the janitor lady in this film, she got fucked up. Man. Yeah. She got fucked up in this. I was like, damn. But I mean, the effects are good. I thought spiders look good. The effects are good in this film. Like I said, every technical aspect of the movie I thought was really well done. Just comes down to writing for me. Yeah. So, anybody have anything else on the movie?
No, I think we slapped this movie around enough.
Yeah. I think that, like, for me, I mean, I like this movie a good bit, honestly. I get why it wasn't like, I get that, because my first complaint was that I didn't like the way that the just the relationships and stuff like that went. But I do think that the movie's like pretty fun outside of that. I think that like they do that, like even the spiders I thought looked fine, like pretty good. I loved how they had like the hallways and like stuff with the webs and stuff. Like to me, that's really neat looking. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway.
So did they, like in that whole scene where they had to like turn the light on and make it to the other side before the light turned off and stuff, were they motivated by, or were they subdued by the light? Because they were able to move from, A to B with the light on, but as soon as the light went off, it was like pure panic. Like I was like, I mean, did they explain that? Or is it just, you just assume that it was the light
I didn't know if it was that or the spiders were just like not that aggravated at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe I didn't really.
I'm trying to remember that too, man.
Because I really don't think they ever figure it out. They just kind of, but it's weird because that part is strange, because like when they decide that they have to go from A to B, one side to the other, they just all of a sudden figure, like it's all of a sudden like, okay, it has to do with the light. And I'm like, what? I'm like, where did the whole light situation come from? Like that was not explained at all. I'm like, that just came out of left field. So now the lights are helping you. They kind of subdue the spiders. And I'm like, okay.
Spites, if you will.
Spites, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I was a little bit like, what the fuck just happened there? But okay, it is what it is. But
I feel like there's something I'm not remembering about that, and there is an explanation, but I don't know.
There could have been, but like I really cannot think of any moment in dialogue where light had to do with, hey, if we keep the lights on, they won't fucking come for us. But I could be wrong. So I'm sure somebody will correct us down in the comments.
I think it has something to do with their vision, but I don't know.
Yeah. So they see better in the dark?
Something like that. Or yeah.
So they're almost like nocturnal.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I'm the one here that doesn't check facts.
Okay. I just don't want to get into this anymore because now it's just bringing it down even more.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I got along with the characters when I forget the character's name, but the guy that got captured. And when you see the big spider coming out, that was terrifying. And then when you hear him screaming for like, I don't know, a couple of minutes and his girlfriend's crying, like I felt that and I felt bad. And I don't know, it was a scary movie for me. I liked it.
I think if I liked that guy at that moment, I would have been like, "Oh, well, that sucks," but I didn't like him, so I was like,
just the way like he was screaming and shit, I was like, "Damn, sell it."
Yeah, I get that. Ratings. Who went? We started with me, Tyler.
Yeah, this movie's solid. I think we went over basically any issue I had with it, but it's definitely something you should probably still watch. I think a lot of people probably like it more than I did. It's definitely a better movie than Invasion of the Giant Spider, but I would rather watch that again. So I'll give this one a 6.
Yeah. GP.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think that's me.
Right.
Yeah, it's me. I'm also at a 6 on this for mostly technical aspects. I think it's, visually very pleasing. I mean, there's a lot of things that to like about the film, but I said my piece on it, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10. So GP.
Yeah, I think that I liked it a pretty decent amount. I'd give it a 7.
Mason.
I'm at a really solid 8.0 on this one, boys. I mean, if I like the characters a little bit more and it was a little slow at start, maybe it'd be in the 9s. It was a lot of fun, but I like an 8.0 on this one.
Hey, man, that's all good in the H. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. That's Infested from 2023. All right, so getting into the third and final film here on Zoology 5, we're going to take it back to, this year. We're not taking it back anywhere. 2 weeks? This movie came out, a week or 2 ago?
Yeah, I watched the last
and it's simply called Sting. No, it's not based on the wrestler's life.
Or the musician's life.
Or the musician's life, right? Exactly. Oh, fucking police. All right. Quick little synopsis here. After raising an inadvertently talented spider in secret, 12-year-old Charlotte must face the facts about her pet and fight for her family's survival when the once charming creature rapidly transforms into a giant flesh-eating monster. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's not too bad. So Sting. Yeah, this is one I actually watched. I just watched about a week and a half ago or something like that. So I rewatched it actually just before the show. So I've technically seen this one twice. Yeah.
Nice.
So thoughts on Sting? Who wants to start on that one?
I'm kind of close to the same camp I was with Infested. I thought it was pretty decent. But this one, I felt like I liked the people better, and I liked kind of like the atmosphere better in this one. But I thought the story was kind of whack, but it works for it.
I mean, the story to this movie is the same as Invasion of the Giant Spider, really.
There's something about it that was just kind of goofy to me.
It's literally the same story. It's literally a fucking rock or something that comes through from outer space. And I honestly think that the way they did the opening credits in this, man, this fucking thing spits out from outer space, it breaks through the window, and it goes into that mini dollhouse. And the way they ran the credits,
that was pretty cool.
It was fucking cool as hell, man. I was like, it captivated me right from the beginning. I was like, that's really cool how they did that. But I mean, so Charlotte's a 12-year-old girl. She's like an artist, and she's a little eccentric, I guess, in the sense of okay, well, find a spider, I'm just gonna go and fucking raise this shit. It's just weird to me with people with insects and as pets and stuff. I always find that so strange.
I definitely enjoy these characters more than the last film.
That's one thing. Okay, so that's one thing I'm going to say about this film is that this movie right here is the polar opposite of Infested. I think the characters here are developed a lot better. There's a lot of real emotion in this film too. I think at times the mom kind of blows things out of proportion a little bit, and it gets a little bit heavy on her husband at times over Charlotte and stuff like that. And his motivations towards his stepdaughter and his actual real son and stuff like that. I think there's some things there that could be worked on, but I think for the most part, this movie's written really well. It's a very simple story. It's just like Spider Invasion. It's shit from outer space. It doesn't have to be explained. It doesn't have to be explained because it's from outer space. It's mutant already. So what happens is she basically finds this spider. She puts it into a jar and she's kind of infatuated with it. She starts feeding it and ultimately makes it fucking grow into like this ridiculously sized spider. And it terrorizes the whole apartment complex, which, you know, the same as Infested. It's set in an apartment
honestly,
complex.
like, dude, now that I'm like thinking about it, bro, like this totally could have been just a remake of Giant Spider Invasion. Just
it's literally the same story, just set in a different setting. Like it's set in an apartment building. It's the same thing. But I really like the setting of this because like those old school apartment buildings that have those huge air ducts, like that you can go through and stuff, like that whole thing is so cool to me. I think that's a really cool part of the premise of the film and stuff. But I will say the effects in this, like the spiders look fucking fantastic. Like they got to be CG, but they're really good, like really fucking good. There's a lot of creepy moments where people are captured by this giant spider and they're caught up in their webs and stuff. And it looks really crazy, man. But I think there's some real emotion here. There's a lot of real emotion within the characters, like the daughter who has a comic book with her stepfather. And the main character is based on a real dad and stuff. And there's a reveal in the film about that and stuff, which for me, hits real fucking close to home and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, you got to tell them when they're kids, man. You got to tell them when they're kids. But I think there's just a lot of really good things that are going on in this film. It's acted really well. I think the girl, Charlotte, is fucking excellent. So one thing I will say about this movie that I didn't catch the first time I watched it. So I was watching this morning. Pretty hungover, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up, it's pretty dry. And I'm watching the movie and really enjoying it again. And it just clicked on me. I'm like, our lead character's name is Charlotte. Charlotte's Web.
I thought of that immediately, bro.
Oh, see, I didn't even catch on to
I swear to God, as soon as they said her name was Charlotte, I was
so
like,
if you know the narrative to Charlotte's Web,
shit.
it's basically about a spider named Charlotte that devises a plan to save her the friend, the little pig that's being raised to be slaughtered and stuff like that, Wilbur.
Right.
And so in this movie, Charlotte is the daughter who's out to save her parents from being slaughtered by the spiders. And I'm like, this is really fucking cool. It's obviously intentional. It has to be intentional. Like, there's no way.
It definitely is intentional.
Right. So I think that is really fucking cool that they did that shit, man. I think that's really unique, and it's kind of subtle, but it's different. But it's clever writing, and it passed me over the first time I watched it. Sometimes I'm just dumb as shit. I just don't know what I'm doing in life. So, but yeah, I caught on to it. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't really remember like the full on details of Charlotte's Web. I read the book when I was like fucking 10 years old, but I remember the narrative. I remember the narrative.
Fan of Charlotte's Web.
I remember the narrative very, very well. And I just put the contrast to this, and I was like, shit, dude, it's totally Charlotte's Web, but in a live action form, just with subtle differences. Pretty cool though, man. I really enjoyed this movie. I think this one is written well. It's got a lot of good characters in it, and it's got good casting too. Like the evil, wicked fucking auntie who runs the building, and she's just cast perfect. Like, she's the Wicked Witch of the East, man, that fucking houses the castle. Oh, dude, she's fucking, oh man, cast so perfect, man. Just evil looking. Just evil looking.
I like the Asian guy. That guy made me laugh.
The Asian dude is actually the funnest character in the whole movie, because like he's this Korean scientist that like is doing studies on fish for I can't exactly remember.
Diabetic.
Yeah, diabetes.
Like pancreas stuff or something.
Right, for the diabetes. And so, but anyways, like when Charlie goes to talk to him, like the way he spits his dialogue is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty dry.
He's so good at what it is, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
I actually felt bad when he perished in the film, to be honest, but I felt because he was a cool character. But yeah, man, I just, this one flies by. It runs 90 minutes. I feel like there's really not a lot of downtime. There's a lot of good character development. There's a lot of good just moments of tenseness too. Like,
I think gets right into it.
There's a good, like the good comedic relief in the film that's not overdone too is Frank, the bug buster, right? I think Frank is really cool.
Oh yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, Frank is really cool in the film, and I think it's comedy relief, but it's not full on comedy. Like this movie's dead serious. Like it's fucking serious, and I think it's written really, really well. A lot of good dialogue in the film. It hits home with me. It's heartfelt. It feels honest. But like I said, the one complaint I do have is the wife. She blows shit out of proportion a little bit, but it's like maybe typical women stuff. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of heat for that shit, but I'm married, so I can say this shit, man. But the wife does that to me too. She blows shit out of proportion. Just kind of takes things the wrong way at times. I feel like that's what this character did, right?
You got to keep in mind too. We also spent like 10 years with Jeremy on the show, which is pretty much the same thing.
That is true story. That is a true story. I mean, there is a reason why we've done so many episodes in this, because I just love doing the show now. But anyways, I digress. I digress. But no, this was a very, very enjoyable film for me. I wasn't sure how it was going to work the second time I watched it, but I actually enjoyed it more the second time I watched it.
You know what, dude? If you would have told me before we recorded the show that you liked this one more than the other one, I would have been surprised.
That's why I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say anything because I knew the consensus was everyone loved Infested, and I was like, I thought I was going to be majorly in the minority on this. Well, I probably still am. That I like Sting a lot more. In fact, I really, really like this movie. Like, it's one of my favorite watches of the year, hands down.
Cool. Really?
So the music in the movie is really good. Like, there's a lot of good specs. Like, I mean, the spiders got to be CG'd, but like. The spites, but like so damn good, like so fucking good. Like I it's crazy. I don't know. Really enjoyed this one. So what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, I just had to get mine out of the way.
I'll go. This one, I thought it uses really cool camera techniques that play with the corner of your eye, and I also mistake random household items for spiders a lot, so it was. I felt like the Asian guy is like the serious science part, like in Giant Spider Invasion. So, when you're like, that was one of the serious parts of Giant Spider Invasion.
100%.
Yeah. So I see that similarity, and he was funny to watch too. And then with the big spider, like that looked like practical effects, so I thought that was really impressive, but I'm not sure. I think the littler spiders are probably CGI, but
yeah, when she first puts the spider into the jar and it knocks on the jar, I mean, it's obviously going to be CG because you can't get a spider to do that, but it looks really damn good. Like it's really good CG, like to the point where you're like, holy shit, like and the final battle or whatever, that looks like a real thing. It could be. I wasn't entirely sure. I never really looked into it to see what they did with the effects and stuff. Like, I would actually like to know. But I mean, overall, the effects are amazing in this movie. They really are. So
when the way they designed all the little webs when he captures the bugs in the jar, that was really neat.
You know what I find is the most? It's like heartbreaking. But like it just looks so cruel and nasty, and it's just so horrific. Is the scene where Charlotte finds her dad, or was it the mom and I guess it was stepdad too. The mom and the baby that are all webbed up, and the baby's like hanging in the web. I'm like, oh shit, like that's fucked up to me. But I thought the whole mothball thing was really cool. It was a really cool aspect of the film too. So.
This movie to me felt like a lot like a movie from like Amblin or like a Critters or something like that. You know what I mean?
It has that 80s vibe to it for some reason. When I was watching it again, I was like, I was just feeling like it could have been made in the 80s, like not aesthetically, but like just the way it was constructed. I don't know. There's something about
like the construction
of the parents sort of vibe is similar.
I think it was probably because of the opening scene with the spider going into the little dollhouse and stuff. Like that just felt so fucking 80s to me. It was like a throwback to the 80s. I don't know. It was great. It was such a good start to the movie for me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. But I'm just glad it didn't disappoint.
It's just like this movie just had like a level of camp, and I found that tone like more enjoyable for this movie than Infested.
Mm-hmm. So you actually like this one more than Infested then?
Yeah, like I feel like pretty like similarly about these ones. I think like there's probably like a higher ceiling to Infested, but I like this one was shorter. I thought like this one like had like it was more like fun to me, and there was like less like this one wasn't really messy either, and just like it wasn't like grounded in reality, so it didn't really need like a backstory for everything. Where you kind of have the Infested one, they really want to like play it straight and like you like develop these characters. Like there's just they're both like this was just an easier watch to me.
I feel like everything that comes from space doesn't need an explanation because you just expect it to be the unknown. It's the unknown, right?
Tropes like that too.
It's the unknown aspect of it. So
it came from space. Like I like space in general. Like I wish there was just like more like good like space horror, like space exploration horror.
Yeah, I love space horror films too, man. It's fucking so weird to me too because like when I was growing up, I really was not into anything space. When I thought of space, I thought of Star Trek, and I was not a Trekkie. I wasn't even a big Star Wars fan either. Like I wasn't into like space shit, and then all of a sudden like a switch went off, and I'm like, I love space horror. It's weird. I just love space shit. So I don't know. It's hard to explain. JP, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I think like I said, I think it feels like I don't know if like Amblin kind of a little bit, and like I said, I was getting like Heavy Critters vibes, just the way that like you're following the little girl, and it's almost like it's like fantastical, you know what I mean? Like it's like you don't expect a lot of times with like modern movies, you don't expect to focus so much time with like the kid, and like you got all these different quirky characters that live in like the apartment building. I actually felt really bad for the grandma. She was like super nice. Who is she? I've seen her and stuff before. The grandma character with the dementia.
I was thinking that too, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
Doesn't she look like somebody that was in a movie recently that we watched?
Hold on. I think like I did notice that.
Could be.
Amy, pull that up.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm doing.
But that stuff always like hurts my heart, like the dementia and stuff. Like I've dealt with that.
Yeah.
And it's always brutal.
No, I've never seen her in another movie.
No, what's her character name?
You're talking about Helga, right?
Yeah, that's her name.
Noni Hazelhurst. She's an Australian stage actress.
Australian.
I could have sworn I've seen her in something before.
Man, she sounds so like Eastern European or something. It's crazy, like in the movie. It's crazy. But because she's acting though, so.
And the other old lady, Gunter. She was in The Relic a couple of years ago.
Oh, in that one.
Relic
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. Like artsy fartsy movie with the girl from
Yeah, I know which one it is. Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, the Neon Demon.
Right.
Yeah, but I thought again with like pretty good effects, like apartment again, which is cool. This one feels like more like a boarding house, like or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that aspect.
Yeah, this one for me was just like, it was just a lot more enjoyable, man. Really like the characters. Like Charlotte was cool, man.
Who?
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte was cool. Yeah, she's a very, very good acting.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Kid. Yeah, like usually when you get like young actresses, actors, they're even like good ones still are, you're usually like, that's good for a kid, you know what I mean? But yeah, like especially for a movie that isn't like a big mainstream like production, you know what I mean? Like a studio movie.
I just felt like the dynamic between her and the stepfather, like, with the comic and the writing and stuff like that, like it was flushed out so well. Like there's a great scene where, you know, he obviously does not agree with her drawing the eyes into the character and stuff. And then he erases it later. And then, but they have that discussion about it, and it's subtle, and it you know, it kind of passes and stuff. But like it builds that relationship to the point where you're like, it's so believable, right? They feel like real humans. They feel like real. It feels like real emotion and stuff like that. And like, I think everything between them is so good. I think, like I said, the only thing in the film I felt like was a little bit off sometimes was just the wife's reaction. But, you know, she could be going through menopause at that point too. So
Jesus.
The wife's going to fucking kill me on that one.
Did you ever see the director's, their first movie or whatever? I don't know if it's their first movie, but Wormwood.
Oh, this is
no, I never saw
the director of this movie did Wormwood. Oh shit! Yeah, Wormwood's good.
Both of them.
Oh shit! Yeah. I liked.
Yeah, I think both of them.
I like both Wormwood movies. Yeah, they're good.
I never seen it. I own the first one, I think. But
so this movie's like an Australian production. Then I didn't really even look into it at all.
Yeah, actually, but not. I think it actually says that something about Australia in the opening credits.
I probably missed it both times. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's being Screen Australia. Yeah, at the beginning, the production company's popping up says Screen Australia.
So is most of the cast here American? Because like, or are they just putting on American voices? Or I mean accents.
I think that it's it actually a lot of it filmed in Australia, I believe.
Wow. Like Charlotte is, yeah, man, she's a fucking Australian. Dual citizen, Australian and Estonia. So she's putting on an American accent in this film.
Wow,
that's really impressive.
Even more impressive.
So wow, dude, like she's really fucking good in this. It just made it even better for me. Like that's some seriously good acting. Crazy.
She actually owned a pet jumping spider. How about that?
Wow.
Oh. So Australians are crazy.
But again, going back to my
dude, she's in fucking Mad Max. The new Mad Max.
Is she really crazy? Funny. Wow, good for her.
Yeah, she plays young Ferocia.
Oh, so they even go further back then, yeah, because this is already a prequel to
Oh, she was in Children of the Corn.
The newer one?
Yeah, the newest one.
Oh yeah. Dope.
Which was filmed in Australia.
She wasn't the main girl, was she?
Children of the Corn. Which Children of the Corn movie are we talking about here?
The newest one.
No, Ethel, I think her name was.
Interesting.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
I just it's funny because I just watched this. So this would have been 4 years ago. So she was pretty young in this then. Shit.
Yeah.
I actually didn't hate the new Children of the Corn movie. I know everyone always every time a Children of the Corn movie comes out, like, oh, it's fucking garbage. I get it.
Oh, I dug it. I thought it
was all right.
I didn't mind this one. I mean, I could, I didn't hate it.
7. You know? Maybe
I gave it like a 6, I think.
Maybe 6.5. I don't know. I think I did give it.
Yeah, I was like probably 6 out of something. Whatever. But I actually watched it in the airport. I think we were on like a delayed flight or something like that. Yeah, our flight was delayed a couple hours. I'm like, I got some time, so I was throwing Children of the Corn and fucking watched it. I was like, that's pretty good.
Nice.
So
we've seen worse.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's worse in that franchise for sure. We all know. Trust me, we know. Sometimes it just makes me want to go back and watch some of these fucking movies, man. I don't know what it is, man. Like I was actually literally thinking about Children of the Corn like about a week ago, and I think it's part 7 is the one that doesn't have a Blu-ray release, but like if it wasn't labeled as a Children of the Corn movie, you would just think it was a good movie, right? But the fact that it's Children of the Corn something, you're like, oh fuck, it's not a good Children of the Corn movie, but it's not a bad film. That's what I love about this show, man. We've archived so many fucking movies that nobody's ever going to watch. The Howling franchise. Seriously, people talk about shit franchises, and I'm always like, man, you have never seen the Howling franchise. It's really bad.
That one's a really bad franchise. Like that's actually a franchise where, like, even the Howling one, like I don't love.
See, so I do.
It's even worse.
See, the Howling is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I think part 2 is good on a different level. It's not a great movie.
Fun.
it's a fun bad movie. Like it's a bad movie, but it's a fun watch. But then part 3, which is that Australian marsupials one, is
that's like one. I like that one.
See, I can't stand
that one's so ridiculous.
I can't stand that movie, dude. It's fucking
I like it in like a so bad it's good type way, though.
And then let's face it, part 7 is literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Like, without a doubt, I think I gave it 0.5 out of 10. It's not even a movie. It's not a movie. So, anyways, Howling. 22 shots at tangents and horror. All right, so ratings on Sting?
Yeah,
I think it's me.
Whose turn is it?
Who started with Mason, went to Tyler, to me.
Okay.
All right, so I'm up first. I really enjoyed this movie, man, a lot. I think it's a great film. I'm coming in at an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
I said what I had to say about it. I think it's a great movie, man. It really is. And that whole Charlotte's Web thing, man, just like blew my mind this morning. Like it sobered me right up. Sometimes my brain works good. I don't know. But it's funny, like you caught that the first time, JP, because that's impressive. Because like I didn't even catch on.
Not only the first time, but as soon as they said her name,
dude,
but you got to understand too. I'm like Charlotte's Web is like a thing that I'm very familiar with. You know what I mean? Like I read the book in elementary school. I watched the animated movie a bunch growing up. So it's like something that's actually like,
never seen it.
Really, we watched it in school, but I even watched the live action one that they did like a decade ago or something.
I've actually never seen any adaptations of Charlotte, so I've only ever read the book. It's weird. Yeah. They should. Yeah.
In fact, I just read the book again like 6 years ago or something. But so yeah, like Charlotte's Web is always something that's been like very familiar to me. So anytime I hear the name Charlotte, I instantly think Charlotte's Web.
I think the Charlotte Hornets. It's weird, but which is like not even, it's weird. It's what I always think when I think of Charlotte.
But yeah, I like this movie about as much as Infested. Honestly, I know that's probably crazy for you to hear. But
no, it doesn't bother me one bit.
Well, I'm not saying it bothered you. I just don't know if you expected that.
I mean, I'm actually a little bit surprised at how much Infested is being loved. To be honest, like considering like my thoughts on it, like I think it would be a little bit lower with some people, but you know, at the same time, I get it. But
so yeah, I'm coming in at like I don't know. I'll give it a 7.5.
Mason.
Yeah. So I'm kind of the opposite with this one versus Infested, even though by not too big of a degree. Really fun movie, really great effects. It was a bit draggy in parts where I didn't really feel that way with Infested. But it doesn't bring.
What were the draggy parts for you? What were the draggy parts for you?
I mean, I just remember watching it and when like the dad would talk to the mother about trying to build this relationship and stuff. I don't know. I just kind of remember tuning out a little bit.
It's interesting because like that type of development with the characters and stuff was actually like, for me, was so heartfelt, where in Infested was like completely just, it felt so synthetic and just not real and annoying, obnoxious. I could probably keep going with some adjectives, but it's interesting. It's so interesting how people perceive movies. That's what I love about gaming shows is like how different we see things and what we enjoy and stuff like that, where I find this movie to be so enjoyable. I would watch it again. I watched it twice in the last week. It's crazy.
I would definitely watch it again. But I give it a nice 7.5. And before I wrap that up, I have a few spider fun facts to share.
Nice.
They mentioned
I forgot to do the fun facts on the Bears episode and hated myself for it so much that I was like, I'm fucking done. But maybe this will bring it back.
So in Sting, they mentioned how the spider has blue blood, and spiders do have blue blood because of a compound called hemocyanin, which is
know what else has that?
What's up?
Horseshoe crabs.
All right.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, they use horseshoe crabs as like they're like really important to like the human race, honestly. They use it for a lot of scientific testing because of how their blood is.
Interesting.
But it's blue because it's copper based, whereas our blood is red because it's iron based.
Right.
So
right.
Let's see. Some male spiders seduce their mates with a dance and silk wrapped gifts. You might know about the largest spider in the world called the Goliath bird eater, which can grow up to 11 inches wide.
Jesus.
Ay. And
that's a
jumping
big fucking
spiders.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that thing. It's fucking huge.
I've never seen one before. Holy fuck, that's a big spider.
I don't know if I get yikes. But anyway, jumping spiders can see more colors on the spectrum than humans can.
Yeah, those things are cool, dude. Those little jumping spiders. Those are the spiders that people use to cure arachnophobia because they're cute.
Really? I mean, the one I killed today, I mean, it was a little jump. But I don't know, maybe it was cute to some people. I didn't want it in my house. It had to go. I wasn't down with it.
Yeah, I usually leave the spiders alone. My girlfriend freaks out when she sees them, though. She'll get up and start screaming.
I love daddy long leg or something. Maybe depending on where it's at, I can ignore. But if it's juicy at all,
Dude, my buddy
the
was
only
showing
poisonous spider in my area you would never find just crawling around your house.
Yeah, for sure. It ain't about poison. It's just creepy. I don't know. Like, I know it means me no harm, literally. But
dude, imagine like living in the South, like where these people just have like scorpions that crawl into their house.
I know, bro. That shit to me is like crazy when people have like animals that actually like can kill you, like living. Like, I don't think there's like any type of like animals that are like around this area that are common that can like kill you. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know what that's like.
Not insect what? Like, we just have the grizzlies.
On spiders, and like the most venomous spiders in America aren't as venomous as people actually think they are.
Yeah. I also wrote down, what do you think would be worse, getting eaten by spiders or zombies?
Zombies. Because a spider's just gonna, usually if they have some kind of toxin, it's gonna like paralyze you.
Yeah, well, spiders don't actually eat you, right? They
liquefy you and drink you, brother.
I think he's talking about a giant spider.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the spider and Sting, get eaten by the spider and Sting, like captured and paralyzed, just waiting to die. Or
I'd much rather take that. Zombies are it's gonna take you a while to die from a zombie.
Right. Yeah, if you start getting your arm eaten and shit, like, you're not gonna die right away. It's just painful, and it's like burning alive. You know, like fucking takes a while. Ugh. Yeah,
like if I'm in a house fire and I don't think I'm getting out, I'm gonna just go just start inhaling smoke.
Yeah, just fucking get it over with. Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel the burn.
No.
I'd probably pick the spider too, but it was interesting to contemplate.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so
how did you rate it? You did? Did everybody rate it?
I didn't rate it yet. Yeah, so, I feel like similar camp with all these movies, but this one I liked more than Infested. But there's kind of pros and cons to both. I'll give this one a 6.5.
Sweet. Yeah, so 3 spite moves. I like spite moves. I'm a big spite move kind of fan, honestly. I'm a zoology in general. I'm a big fan of, which is, I cannot believe it took us this long, 10 years to start covering more like killer animal movies, because I've always been such a massive fan. Like, I love rat movies, I love snake movies, alligators, crocodiles,
dog movies. Yeah,
I love rat movies so much. I did 2 whole weeks of rat reviews on my channel.
Surprisingly, that rats might be like, other than sharks and like snakes, rats are probably like the most common movie, killer animal movie, oddly enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of spider ones.
I feel like there's more killer rat movies than like killer dog movies, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of rat.
There's probably another. You know what's funny? They don't really make a lot of rat movies anymore. Like there was a
No,
time
not
period, like
anymore.
they got spread out, but then there was a time where they made a bunch of them, and then that was it. Like I haven't seen one in years.
Yeah, when's the last time you seen a killer rat movie? Right,
It's been years, man.
Willard.
Like, obviously
2003.
spiders are back in the mainstream because that's what they're pumping out now, but even like in general, like for zoology films, like in the last few years, like what has really come out?
Besides shark stuff, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah,
besides shark stuff, I mean, shark stuff is
popular.
always, I mean, they're
Cocaine
pumping out
Bear
100
was
shark movies a
all-
year.
Cocaine Bear and Crawl, the killer alligator movie.
Right.
Meth
Okay.
alligator,
Cocaine Bear,
whatever.
yeah. Which I thought was a fucking blast. Such a fucking fun movie.
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
love that movie. I can't wait to get to those, like the alligators and the
So when we do
snakes.
alligators, what do you want to do? Because there's so
Like
many
Placid.
that I know that we love, like Alligator itself.
Yeah.
We're big fans of that movie.
Yeah, well, we would definitely
Right.
combine it with crocodiles, right? Because
Of
there's
course.
way more crocodile movies than alligators.
I think we should probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to Australia for one of them for sure.
Gator Bait's going to be coming out soon from TerrorVision. Maybe that'd be.
Oh, they're putting out Gator Bait.
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
doing
dude. Gator Bait 1 and 2.
I have the old.
Yeah, but
Gator
that's
Bait
not an
4K,
actual
brother.
Gator, that's not an actual gator movie, though.
Those are rape revenge movies,
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Yeah, those are like,
and they're
I
not
spit on
even
your
that
grave.
to the point. But anyways, I have the old DVDs of those now. But yeah, so they're TerrorVision putting those out. Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, you got like Rogue, Primeval, Alligator, obviously. Even Hooper's Crocodile.
Yeah, Rogue is the Australian one, right?
Yeah, isn't Primeval Australian too?
That might be too. Yep. Yep.
It wasn't there another one too, but there's a bunch of those ones I like, and then you even have like the Killer Crocodile 1 and 2. Is that what it's called, Killer Crocodile, or is it
Dude.
just Crocodile?
No, Killer Croc. Those movies are fucking awesome, man. Both of them.
And then you got the Great Alligator,
Martino. Yeah, Martino.
and there's one called just Crocodile too, I think, right?
Yeah. Dude, there's so many. There's so fucking many, man.
Yeah.
We should do the Lake Placid franchise sometime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of franchises, I believe our next episode, we're going to do a back-to-back zoology similar to how we do with cats and dogs. We're actually going to do our first zoology franchise, right?
Yep,
Piranhas. So we're going to do Piranha 2, The Spawning, Piranha Remake, and then Piranha Remake again, which Piranha 3D, and then Piranha Double D.
So there's 5
Yeah.
Piranha film. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. And that's going to be, so if you guys are still listening here at the end, this is officially going to be the last before we do have a break for real. We'll be back in August. We'll be back in August before we come back in September for the next season.
So we'll do this bonus summer show for the Piranha franchise, which is pretty cool because August is like sort of tail end of the summer. And Piranha is definitely like a summer vibe movie franchise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I've never seen the 90s remake before.
Yeah,
So-
I haven't seen that one either.
I've actually only seen Piranha and Piranha 3D. I've never seen any of the other ones.
Yeah, honestly, the James Cameron, as I quote unquote, because he wasn't the full director on The Spawning 2. It's funny. I just had this conversation with my buddy yesterday, and like, I'm like, "Are you a fan of this movie?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "I fucking can't stand it." I haven't watched it in years, but we'll see how it shapes up again. But it's fucking flying piranhas. It's flying piranhas, and it's stupid, and it's actually a bad movie. But
I've been a big fan of like the original Piranha.
yeah, I love it. I love it.
I remember at Walmart when I first like started collecting a little bit. It was like 2010 or 9 or something, and the Roger Corman line was kind of actually the new movie had just come out, or it was just coming out, Piranha 3D, which was like 2010. So this was like in 2009 or 2010. But I remember being in Walmart and the Roger Corman collection from Shout Factory. They had the Piranha DVD with the like most badass lenticular cover. and it was $20, and I bought it, and I still have that DVD. But it has like the cool lenticular cover, and that was the first time I had ever seen it. And yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I've always liked that movie since I've seen it.
Yeah, I agree, man.
But yeah, that should be fun. And honestly, I actually like Piranha 3D a good bit too. That movie's fun, dude.
Dude, the kills is fucking bloody as hell. There's
it got tons of tits. Christopher Lloyd plays like this scientist that's fun. Like it's a cool, like it's a B movie that has a budget, you know?
Like, is Hasselhoff in the second one?
I think he's the first one, right?
Or isn't the first one? I can't remember. Shit, it's been a while.
But that should be a fun episode.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. So that'll be the summer extravaganza this year. But
yeah. And
so we're gonna do that. It's gonna be Zoology 6 then?
Yeah. Zoology Volume 6 be a franchise.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess we can do, I mean, if we do the Lake Placid, is that going to be zoology? Because then we can't do crocodiles again?
No, you could do crocodiles again. That'll be Crocodiles Volume 1.
Okay. Yeah.
or Part 1.
It'll be zoology like part like 19 and Volume 1.
Yeah. Well, I think the way, because I thought of this before, because I was like, we'll definitely return to some of these zoology topics. But I think I planned it as zoology, like Volume 6, Piranhas, and then if we did like another Piranhas, like Zoology Volume 10, Piranhas 2.
Right. Yes. Fuck, man. There's so much potential, man. I can't wait to do Rats, though, man. Rats is gonna be fun.
Rats. Yeah, we can't just do one Rats and then never do them again. You know what I mean?
There's so many.
Same thing with snakes, right?
But even dogs and like, there's so many. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna like, dude. I literally was like, dude, let's do leeches. I think there's 3 leech movies.
I think there is too, man. Oh, crazy.
There's one called Leeches, and then there's Attack of the Giant Leeches, and then I think there's another leech movie.
Yeah, but what is it's not even, it does. Which one?
I said Stand By Me. I'm stupid.
Oh, that scene, dude. He's got the leeches on his balls. Oh, yeah. That's good shit. Anyways, I mean, yeah.
But so yeah, there's so many potential for this. I like the zoologies.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I mean, they're not the most viewed or listened to shows that we do, but I think they're fun as fucking hell to do. So I mean,
yeah,
we got to do this shit for ourselves though too, right? So
yeah.
Only reason to do it.
Yeah, wait till we do our Killer Genitals show. Did we do that already?
I was literally just telling the wife last night that we were going to do a Killer Genitals show next season. She's like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious." I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be killer vaginas and killer penises." She's, "Oh my god, we have 22 shots." Yeah. So
yeah, can't wait to do the thumbnail.
That should be like the second show back, because obviously the first show is gonna be 1975, but then the second show back we should do the Killer Genitals show.
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to for like, October, as we get closer to like return time, I actually want to plan out like September, October, November, and December, because we always plan those all out because
we have to, yeah.
Themes like obviously October we do like Halloween show. November is all Italian month, and then December we have usually only 2 or 3 shows in December because we prep for the 2024 show. You know what I mean? So, and one of them is a Christmas show. So, you know, usually we could map out the whole like first part of the schedule like pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I want to make this next season like a pretty bit banger with like throw in a couple franchises and just stuff that we've been wanting to do. You know?
It's going to be unique though, because like Italian Horror Month is going to be not just director spotlights. It's going to be a totally different thing.
Something bigger for that because it's our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. So it's going to be different.
It's so crazy, dude. 10 years.
Yeah.
Congrats, Brez.
Yep. So
it's
I'm
good.
sure we'll want to probably have some guests on for Italian month, and I think that there's a few things that I definitely
I want to get Tom on. I want to get Tom. At least if we do we should do a show.
The
It's
horror
just an
ball.
idea. Yeah, Tom, he's a great buddy of mine.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's going to be there at Wasteland in October, so we're all
Really?
gonna be,
Hopefully.
No, he is 100%.
Yeah,
He's already
That's
booked.
good.
He's got his hotel booked. He's got his everything's all booked.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to Tom just the other day. So,
Where does he live?
he used to live in Buffalo. Now he lives somewhere else, not Buffalo. I can't remember where it is.
Like,
But
Is it New York as well, though?
no, I don't think he's in New York anymore. I think he's in a different state. So,
Okay.
but anyways, yeah. So Tom's going to be there, and he actually didn't know that like everybody was going to fucking be there in October. I'm like, man,
Well,
it's gonna be, like,
because we started doing that just 2 years ago. You know what I mean? In terms of like more of like our friends showing up. You know?
I mean, you got to remember, like, for me, I'm coming straight from the West Coast. Like, it's like 3,000 miles.
So far.
Yeah.
Are we taking Dave Z this time?
You know what? I said to Dave, because we're going to be renting a car when we're in Toronto and driving through Buffalo. And I said to Dave, I'm like, dude, you don't have to pay for nothing except for maybe your ticket for the fucking, for Wasteland. Because I'll pick you up. We'll drive you there. You can stay in a room if you want. Like, we will have double beds. Like, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't pay for shit. So.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, so we'll definitely do some planning soon. But yeah, next episode will be the Piranha franchise, and then also we were talking like off air. I don't know, or were we on air? But I want to start doing the next season of Tales from the Crypt.
Me too. Yeah, I was mentioning that I was watching Tales from the Crypt season 3, and I'm like, man, I'm watching this going, JP's gonna hate me right now because I'm watching this shit. And like, I even thought that. I'm like, well, we gotta do this, man. But season 3 is fun. There's some fun episodes. I mean, obviously it's Tales from the Crypt.
Season. I think
except for season 7's a little bit. I can't wait till we get season 7, because season 7 is like a little bit of a fucking,
which to this day, season 7's the only season that I have not watched all the episodes.
Dude, when they moved to England, man, it just got weird. Oh, it's different, dude. You'll notice the difference. You will.
Yeah, I was just briefly looking at some of the episodes of season 3, and yeah, a lot of good episodes on there.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
it should be fun.
But yeah, so I guess that's it, right?
That is it, man. That's it for episode 264 here on the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror. We will, like I said, we'll be back in, well, not soon. We'll be back in August with the Piranha franchise. So this is officially going to be the end. You guys got 2 bonus episodes, which we generally would have never recorded, but I just happened to be around. So we're like, fuck it, we're going to do some shows. So, yeah.
Sweet.
All good. Mason, thanks for dropping back in. Love you, brother. Awesome having you on the show. So
shout out 22 Shots crew.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, man. We always appreciate, man, you taking the time to hang out with us for a few hours and shoot the shit. I hope I didn't offend you too much by, shitting on Infested.
Oh, you've shitted on a lot of more movies that I love, so I'm cool, man.
Really? What are some other ones that I've shit on that you fucking like?
Oh shit! I mean, I'm one of those that was kind of offended when Scream didn't top your 96 and shit like that. And what else can I think of? I don't know. When Silence of the Lambs wasn't your number 1 on 91. And it was like your number 5 or 6. I was like, I remember you saying, I know people are going to yell at the fucking screen when I say this. And I was one of the ones yelling at you.
Oh, dude, man.
It actually did not make my number 1.
Yeah, I know. And I remember that too. Yeah. You had people under the stairs and shit.
Yep.
I am literally the biggest fan of The Frighteners from 96. Man.
I know.
I love that movie, dude. Like, it's so good.
That movie didn't even make my top 10.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's
was
like,
like my
my number one wasn't even on. Yeah, it's usually like my number one will be JP's number 10 or vice versa.
Mhm.
But not that year.
But yeah, anyway,
Yeah. All right. I guess we're getting the fuck out of here, man. So enjoy you guys' summer until we come back, and we'll talk to you guys.
Check out our SYN Bin shows because those are not going on hiatus. Those will
SYN Bin will be
every month.
Yeah, SYN Bin will be around for all summer because we record during the week. So yeah, all good.
Sweet.
Yep. Deuces, guys. We're out of here.
Deuces.